To everyone tuning in, let me ask you why the big secret concealing it from the mass view. UFOs circle in the sky, still get no reply. I think it's time for truth seekers to rise. Hands up if you're feeling how I'm feeling. Spread the truth and start revealing. Knocking down the doors of the big secret keepers. Truth seekers coming through your speakers. What?
All right, I just want to welcome you to Why the Big Secret. It is Friday night, and that's a good thing. It's Friday night, right? It's Friday night, and hopefully you had a great week in doing what you're doing, and now you're going into the weekend to kind of do some relaxing or whatever you're going to do this particular weekend. And like just say that it's pretty cool, right? We're going to talk about something tonight really cool. We're going to get into a video that was sent to me by one of the truth seekers or researchers. And she sent it out to me, Nicole. And she said, hey, check this out. And I got to looking at this video, and I was like, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. And so definitely, if she hops on tonight, then we will be doing that as well. But man, it's one of those things. If you hadn't seen it, I will see if I can try after this video and put the link up in the description. So if you want to go and check out this particular video that Dr. Stephen Greer did, probably about 10 days ago. And he's talking about the disclosure project that he set forward, but now about using the RICO Act to get disclosure or to prosecute those individuals, people, everybody who big secret keepers or however it works. And I just like, wow, could you really do that? And once I start to watch the video and start looking at the points that he was making, I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. This can go down. This can really go down. So real quickly, let me just give a shout out to everybody who is in the chat. We got Pamela here as well. Laura is here. We have someone. Oh, okay. I can't read Japanese, but we're going to go with that if that's what it is. Native Ian in the house. The producer Lonnie is in the house. What does Terry is in the house? What does the J Lee Chronicles? Wolfman is here. Judith is with us. April, Kia, Anonymous Rex. What's going on? And then we have Just Do It. Abe, the grandmother of Why the Big Secret. Diana is in the house. Lynn is in the house with us as well. So everybody, welcome to what we're doing. And like I said, we're just going to get right into this thing. Let's get into it, really. Now, remember that the RICO Act, if you didn't know, I'm going to kind of give you a little background behind the RICO Act, okay? The RICO Act stands for Racketeer, Influence, and Corporate Organizations Act, okay? In the U.S., the federal law provides for an extended criminal penalties and civil cause of actions as performed as part of an ongoing criminal investigation. Now, this act was passed in the 1970s with the primary intent to target the mafia and others involved in organized crime, but its application has become more widespread over the years. Now, the key element of the RICO case is that the offender is part of an enterprise that engages in a pattern of racketeering activity. And under the RICO Act, a pattern of racketeering activity requires at least 2 acts of racketeering activity within a 10-year period, okay? Now, this act covers 35 offenses, 35. All right, and any of these violation statutes against gambling, we're talking murder, you're talking kidnapping, arson, robbery, bribery, extortion, dealing in what we call in an obscene manner, embezzlement, counterfeiting, money laundering, all of these things. And Dr. Greer has decided or looked into it enough and said, you know what? This qualifies for what the big secret keepers have been doing to people over the years. The Racketeering Act qualifies to go after some of these individuals and corporations and everything else, and especially now that you got the Whistleblowers Act in place to protect the witnesses that come forward. And that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us into our conversation tonight. So I just thought it was pretty cool that he will talk about that in pretty much. Water Rock, thank you. He said he got a shirt. Make sure you take a picture of your Project Black shirt wearing it and then go to whythebigsecret.com, go over to one of the tabs. You can submit a photo or video and submit your photo wearing the shirt, so I can then post it on our site. And that's for everybody who's going to be receiving your shirts pretty soon as well. And so definitely want you to do that. So what do y'all think? What do you think? Put it in a chat. That Dr. Greer is going to go this route with the Disclosure Project, to where he is saying we're going to get a group of lawyers, and he's already been working on this, and the expansion list of lawyers coming on board has grown enormously. I mean, to the thousands, and they're going to file a massive lawsuit, which probably could conclude millions of people that's saying that there are some things that could be done. Now, I did a little research, and I was like, okay, what part of the ufology world could we tie these things into? So we'll make a few speculations tonight, and then maybe we'll get to the bottom ourselves. But the whole point we would make is, why the big secret now? If this thing is big, and you're talking about all the things that they've done, which makes sense to me, because there is no accountability being held to the big secret keepers from all of that. And I think one of the things that Dr. Greer is trying and will probably press on to everyone is to get to a point to where there should be some accountability when it comes down to the Disclosure Act or his Disclosure Project. But when it comes down to the RICO Act being used to send this thing in motion. So I think it's just pretty weird, but I'm behind him. I think there's something that I'm behind the idea. Okay. How about that? That there's something that needs to be done. I'm also behind the methodology, if it could be used to get it done. And I'm just really curious to see how it would unfold if it actually went to a court system. Because just like he mentioned in his video, that you're going to have to find a judge that is not, corrupt, that is going to go with this thing. And so I think there's something there as well. Native V says, my question, can he really win against the people who can manipulate the law in their favor? I don't know. That's one of the things that that's a great question, and that's a great thing to understand. But, once again, though, you still may have some good people that's embedded into the system of law that could probably, move it along, right? So that's something that we can probably do and see. I mean, if you take the Kanye West Adidas situation, where they froze his money in a secret court document through the banks, and they froze all his money. But just 2 days ago, or today or whatever, yesterday, a federal judge overruled it back and said, give that man access to his $75 million. But it was actually frozen through a corrupt system, most people thought. And so how could they have done this without notifying him with all these things? And so, but at some point, there's a judge somewhere that says, hey, wait a minute, no matter what the situation may be, and no matter who are the controllers of that situation, the law is the law. So what we would hope in this particular scenario would be that this thing is met with people that are going to protect the law, protect the citizens of everything else. And so let's get into some more stuff, though. Now, it's important to understand some of these things that goes down with the RICO law, especially when it comes in favor of everything else. All right, we have a new member of our membership, and then anyone y'all see that has green writing, those are members of the YouTube membership that we have here. So definitely, let's think. Yeah, all the members that are already members, y'all give Judith a welcome to the family. And so we definitely want to make sure that goes down as well, and everything else. So Judith, thank you from there. In fact, let me give a special shout out to a couple. Okay, Victoria, she's here. She's one of our members as well. And we can do that. So anyway, now speaking of disclosure, I don't know if y'all saw, I did a post. So let me show you real quick, a couple of shirts that I put up. This is limited. I'm going to take them down soon, but this is one of the shirts that was custom made on Disclosure, and you see the UFOs, and it's really their story of saying, what, y'all kidding me? And of course their thing is, we some damn fools at the bottom. And so and there's a few people that already purchased it. I posted on Instagram. And then, of course, this one just came out today. And it's going to only be up a few days, which is the disinformation shirt and propaganda. And then it has a little definition at the bottom of disinformation, but all pointing to the Capitol in the U.S. and everything else. These some stuff that we're working on behind the scenes. But if you decide that that's something you want, you could email me here or Cash App here, and all the shirts are about ready to be packed and shipped out now. So we're good to go. But anyway, so let's get back into this real quick. So, and if you are wanting to, so let me put this across. If you want to sponsor tonight's show, you're welcome to do that. And so tonight's sponsor could be you. And basically, you would just contribute to our Cash App, and then we will put you into, or you can use, whatever, but you can use the YouTube as well. But we would then put your name there, and you will live on for history of being the person who's sponsoring and promoting tonight's show. All right, so let's get into it, though. And so that can be there, and then I'll check that out from there. In fact, let me just make sure I put the ticker up here. Let's do this one just so that y'all have it, and then this one won't be there, and there. Okay, so now both of them can show at the same time, and you have an opportunity to do that. All right, so let's do this real quickly. When you're talking about the RICO Act, all right, and you're talking about how this can be used in the UFO phenomenal area or this particular time, first of all, let's go over some of the things in a little more detail of the RICO Act, and then you can ask yourself if this will apply, or could Dr. Greer's plight of saying, hey, wait a minute, this could apply. So one of the things that the RICO Act is important, that we look at this, but let's put it like this: obstruction of justice. If you could be proven that the government entities or private contractors or organizations knowingly concealed information or misled the public or legal authorities about extraterrestrial activity. Right there, right? Could that be? I mean, think about it. If it could be proven that they are, the government entities and contractors and all of them knowingly conceal information, they could be, and then we already know they do, because once again, I just showed you that the latest shirt right here is disinformation. This is how they do it anyway, right? They do a propaganda stuff. So, but how do you prove that in court? How would that be proved in court? So put that in the, what are we looking for? Someone says, how do I become a member? You can it should be up in the YouTube. It's either in the bio, but right there, if you're on your YouTube phone, go to our homepage on YouTube and you'll see join. It'll be up either at the top if it's on a computer or phone or all of that. You'll be able to join. And then it's in the bio and in the description. There's a link as well that you can. All right. So, but think about it. What would this happen, y'all? What would happen? Could we possibly prove obstruction of justice? Could we? I think we could. I think he's on to something. I think we could prove. Well, no, let's say that now that the Whistleblowers Act is in place, then proof could be done, because now somebody can prove through the whistleblowers and say, and be protected and give out information to say that. What about fraud? Okay, there's another part of the RICO Act. And if a group knowingly put out false information about UFOs or aliens to the public or for personal gain, or if the government agencies use the premise of extraterrestrial research to misappropriate public funds. I think I'm telling y'all, this man might have just put together one of the biggest things in history to now ultimately force the hand to give us some information. I might just have to give him a vote for president for that, okay? But I understand that he probably couldn't pull this off a few years ago. But now that the whistleblowers group and or act is all that's in place, you now can get a bona fide witness to collaborate with whatever case that they're going to present in court. So he may be able to pull it off. I'm just saying he may be pull it off. Girlfriend debate, did you find the membership? Because if you did, it will pop up on screen. It'll say new member. Let's go into the bribery. This is another one. If officials was bribed to conceal the information about extraterrestrials' activities or to favor certain companies for contracts related to space exploration or defense, we already know that went down with the Skinwalker, right? We know that went down with what's his name with Skinwalker and his, the senator Reed, right? And Harry and Bigelow's company, and no other company applied for that particular monies, and they got the deal. I'm telling you, this is I'm telling you. Let's see what here. All right, Native V says, my thoughts are they claim national security, but they would, but if you bring it out in court, probably with the whistleblower, somebody who's actually putting information out there, I don't think so. I think he may be, you can force their hand. Let's go to the next RICO Act that they would have to prove, money laundering. If funds acquired through extraterrestrial activity, such as a sale of alien technology, were concealed or laundered, that could happen. He actually explains in the video about a ship the size of a football field pulled up somewhere, and I don't know if it was water or however it was, but it was extraterrestrial technology, and out comes illegal guns and all of this stuff, so that they were doing some type of trafficking to make money for the projects. I mean, okay, so there you go. It's possible, but yes, it's a bold move, Native V. Yes, it is, and I think it's something, and yeah, Keith says he loves Stephen Greer, and he hopes this work out because I'm like I said, this is probably the first time ever for me when I always say that we will never get disclosure. The game of disclosure, hiding it, will never go away. They're going to just change the rules. This one may not open up the whole door, but it's going to slap somebody in the face if they can pull it off and put some dots together. But like you said, if they turn around and talking about, national security, then it's going to change a few things for us. Securities fraud. Now, I thought about this one. I was like, well, how could securities fraud play into this? And it's saying if a company falsely claims to possess this alien technology to inflate their stock value. So how many leaks could it be out there that somebody's saying that they have recovered some alien tech, or it's just in the back streams and they're working on something, but it's bringing their stock up because we're hearing it like, hey, you're about that secret technology that Amtro company got, they're making this new weapon, or they're making this new thing because they found a space, and the rumor is set out there for that. That is something, once again, that we could really need to look at, to really think about. So that's another part of this that I would probably say to do it. I don't know. I think it's pretty weird. All right. So someone says, have you ever heard the story? The story no, I have not. Cardenas? No. Filiberto Cardenas. No. Go ahead, Mason, share a little bit about it. Or why don't you hold the story, Mason? When I open up the phone lines in a little bit, you call in and then you can tell us about it online. Fair enough? That would be cool. And there you go. All right. So girlfriend debate. Yeah, there you go. All right. And Liz is pretty, resourceful. She should have found it by now. Yes. All right. Illegal surveillance. This is another action under the RICO Act that they're looking into. So this is about if privacy laws were violated in the process of investigating UFO sightings or monitoring individuals who claim to have had encounters with extraterrestrials. We know that they possibly broke some of this stuff, right? And broke some of the laws and everything else. We know this. We know this, that they probably broke some of these laws. But I would have never thought about prosecuting them under our own laws, especially the big secret keepers. Maybe an organization, maybe an individual, maybe, but you're talking about going after the organizations and going after everybody. That is still like, really? He's going to do that? And like I say, I'm behind him. Drug trafficking. If a substances, claimed to be extraterrestrial origin that was traded illegal. So if a substance was claimed to be extraterrestrial origin, is it possible now that it is now could be deemed a drug, and therefore it's classified as drug trafficking? Boy, I would love to have a lawyer on the phone with us today. Oh my God. And really doing some things from there. And that is just like really, really awesome to do. All right, I'm going to take this now. Anybody decide that you want to be tonight's sponsor or support the show, you may do so in support there. And you can do that simply down at the bottom of the screen. All support is welcome. So let's go into, at some point, first of all, let me back up for a minute. So are we all on the same page when it comes down to the RICO Act and what Dr. Stephen Greer is implying with the Disclosure Project, right? And understand what he's doing. Let me see if anybody else got any idea so far. What do you think the RICO Act could be used to prosecute some of these individuals, companies, multinational companies, government entities, and file RICO Act status against them for them doing certain things, basically to the public. The public could actually sue them. And of course, one of the outcomes will be, we want the truth. What do y'all think about that? Have anybody been keeping up with what Dr. Stephen Greer said the other day? I know Nicole mentioned it, and like I said, because she was, I want to send her a text, and maybe she's out there somewhere. And we are online about the RICO. So maybe she'll hop on tonight as well. So yeah. All right. So what do y'all think about that though? What do y'all think when it comes down to it? And once again, I want to thank each and every one of you who have had the opportunity. And you know what? Let me go into while y'all talking, while we're doing that, and see if we could find the link that y'all need for the YouTube for the membership. So let me make sure we can find that too. But anyway, put in a chat. I want to know what one of you or any of you thinking when it comes down to what is happening with the RICO Act and how it can be used. And what are your sentiments about it? I think it is a brilliant freaking idea to at least make the argument, and then also get them on their behinds to make sure that they do what they do. Okay. All right. So I just put in a chat. If you want to get the membership and join, there's a link right there. So it's there, and you can be part of that and hop on from there and pretty much. So, but anyway, I want to know, what do y'all think? I don't see anybody's opinions in the chat. I'm trying to get some of your ideas, but what do y'all think about the RICO Act, and could it be effective to help out with disclosure, period? What do y'all think? Do you think it can be helped with disclosure? I think it could be, at some point right off the bat. All right, so let's go back into a few more parts of this. Another one was the act of terrorism. If a group used a threat, or actual force purportedly based upon extraterrestrial motives of technologies to create fear and cause harm. We already know they're doing that. The threat narrative has been there against people. Don't tell the truth, but we're going to do this to you. We're going to do this. It's been there since the bedrock of time. Kia said initially, no, probably useful for raising awareness. RICO Act may be more successful later down the road, down the line after so many failed attempts for prosecution. For prosecution. It's possible, Kia. I'm not disagreeing, but it definitely would do some stuff. All right, so we have a new member, April. Thank you for supporting our channel and membership. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I really appreciate it. And now you have the new tag of color, and then also you get priority in a lot of different areas and things as well. So thank you right off the bat. So what I'm saying is we already know that the act of terrorism is already, that's been the bedrock stuff of what they was doing for quite some time. They've been doing that since, back in the what's the word? Roswell, New Mexico incidents, or when somebody first came on board, and talking about, hey, or went to the government, and come out and talking about, we got this, we got alien, and then they're like, you better not say nothing. If you do, we're gonna, destroy your family. We're gonna, put bad press out on you. All of those things. That's an act of terrorism, right? And so I'm thinking somebody could prove. And so I'm gonna go back real quick over each one and say, all right, so Mason says, I think you can use the RICO Act towards anything you feel that's incriminating and everything that they've been hiding and lying to us about incriminating. So I think it's a good idea. I'm all in. All right, so you're correct. And so for those who just hopped on, what we're talking about is Dr. Stephen Greer's the Disclosure Act and project and what he's talking about. And this was sent to me earlier by Nicole. She's now in the chat now. And this video that he was talking about is accumulating a big legal, actually war chest probably as well, to go ahead and use that particular law and act to prosecute, go after, and everything else. And ultimately, you probably force their hand to disclose information. And, he went over it. He gave some examples too. But once again, like I said before, the RICO Act is the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, and it's a federal law. It's been around for quite some time. It was passed in the 1970s. So it's not something that hasn't been around, and you would think that they knew that by now, that at some point that someone will be probably doing this. I'm not for sure, but yeah, that's crazy, right? And like I said, you're talking about the RICO Act covers 35 offenses comprising a wide range of crimes, including, like I said, you got gambling, you got murder, kidnapping. We know they probably do that. Arson, robbery. They probably burn things down. They're probably broken in and stole ideas, bribery, extortion, dealing in an obscene manner. They probably done that. We're talking to big secret keepers. We're talking whoever is behind it, the organizations and private contractors and multinational corporations and religious institutions, all of those things. And so once again, you're talking about the embezzlement of funds, and it just makes so much freaking sense that this is done, and it just makes it baffles me to understand it. All right, so Mason, what was it before I put up this number? You asked about the Philibert Cardenas. Where does this story comes into play? So kind of put it in the screen here before we get into that conversation. If it's working with what we're doing, if I can do it now or later, bring you to share that information. But just kind of put it in chat so I can kind of see where we're going with that. All right. So, all right. What I'm going to do real quickly is, all right, you all are the lawyers right now. Okay. Everybody in here is lawyers. Pretend to be a lawyer. We got 50 people in here. Half of you can be lawyers. If you had to sue the big secret keepers for the RICO Act, and you was going to use obstruction of justice, and this could be any entities, private contractors, knowingly concealing information or mislead the public or legal authorities about extraterrestrials, how would you do it? What case would you use to fall under obstruction of justice? Put it in a chat. What case would you use to fall under the obstruction of justice when it comes down to the RICO Act being used for those people? Just somebody give me a couple of pointers from there, and we can definitely, go there, and then we'll go into the next one, which will be fraud. We went over these, but I just want to see, if you were the attorney, what story would you use? What incident would you use to bag up your case and say, hey, they did obstruction of justice. Oh, hey, there was some fraud, or, where we go from there. All right. So D says Nicola tells his inventions. And okay. All right. That's cool. And it said that they took its stuff. So we know that. So that could be some theft. That could be a whole lot of stuff and blocking stuff. So, all right, we're cool with that, D. That's cool. We can work with that. All right. And D got a wonderful story. One of these days we're going to hear from as well. So y'all get prepared for that. What else? Anyone else? If you were the lawyer, obstruction of justice, what case, what would you do? Wolfman said it was somehow tied into the African-American drugs. Okay. Pamela says Roswell and Bob Lazar. Okay. But, all right, Pamela, you're going to use Roswell and Bob Lazar, but what proof could you take to court that you could that you would use to say that this is what they did? Because you remember, you're going to have some proof when you go to court to win the case. So you're the lawyer. What would you do out of those two, Roswell and Bob Lazar? What would you present to say, okay, this is why we're filing the RICO Act against who? Okay. Yeah, we just having some brain things today. We're just talking, we're pretty much just talking, and hopefully all of that works out and pretty much from there. Nicole says definitely the drugs being used to fund operation. Yeah, I will say that. Laura says the Freedom of Information Act. Okay, we can deal with that too. All right. And but the Freedom of Information Act for you is, they already figured their way around that though, Laura. Basically, by giving the big secret keepers, by giving the projects to the private sector, they can circumvent the Freedom of Information Act, because at this point, no private company or no citizen can request a private company to give out information, only government entities. And this is why you see them put the stuff in the hands of McDonnell Douglas or, all these different bigger corporate companies and defense contractors and all that, because now they can oversee it, they can fund it, but the information and the actual whatever is out of our reach as consumers, right? Or as, so we can't use that. So I get it. I get that part. And pretty much. All right. So what about fraud? What about fraud? If a group is knowingly disseminating false information about UFOs and aliens and for the public personal gain, or if the government agencies use the premises of extraterrestrial research to misappropriate funds to the people. Like I said, that's something they're doing. All right. So Pamela says the interview with the mortician and interviews with those who threaten and harass them to keep their mouth shut. Okay, great point. And Roswell will be a difficult battle because it will be the third parties. Yeah, alive. Yeah. So, okay, you make a great point there. So thank you for being part of what we're doing. And that's what I wanted to see. Any suggestions of thoughts and what part of that would be considered or you would point out to. And you're right. So Roswell had a lot of obstruction of justice within that particular thing. And bribery, that would be a hard one to prove, because you really got to get the evidence and say it was bribe in officials. Information, was concealed in extraterrestrial activities in certain favor from companies, from contracts related to space exploration. So I would probably, the bribery part, we know is probably one of the biggest things that's happening, but now you got to follow the money, or maybe with some, whatever they did to bribe people. I'm not really sure from there, and we can do that. What I'm going to do here is add the phone line here for a second and take a call or two. And then you could, yeah, we can do that. And, okay. I want to complicate things here. But, there we go. All right. So the number is open for a moment right there. 937, our team. So if you want to call Mason, if you will be the first one to do, that would be pretty cool. And you can tell us about that story if you're still here with us. But 937, our team will bring you into the phone, and then I'll bring you up on the switchboard. And we are talking about what we're talking about. So I will wait to see if the phone transfers over here to add you to the conversation. But anyway, let's see. All right. Kia says bribery will require paper trail. I know. That was why I was just saying just then. The bribery charge will probably be a little difficult because, yeah, they're going to have a paper trail. They got to kind of show all of those things. The money laundering, if funds acquired through extraterrestrial activities such as sale, yeah, that one be probably hard. Extortion, that one is probably, probably won't even have to be extortion. It'll just be whatever they're doing. I'm not really for sure how they're doing that, but extortion would probably be something else from there as well. Yeah, I'll be surprised with that one. All right. And so there we go again. I just posted the channel membership support through YouTube. You can do that. And we can do that. Yeah. So Mason, we're waiting. We're waiting on a phone call, Mason. The line is open so we can hear about the Filiberto Cardenas. So you say you kind of share it with us. And so I got the phone line. It's up on the screen waiting for you to call in so we can hear that story. And pretty much. And so Laura said, I'm not messing with you, Roderick. You had a good time with me on Tuesday. I know, right? And I was like, no, I'm Johnny Carson. I'm Billy's son. Yeah, I remember. Antarctica. Yeah, that would be Antarctica will probably be another one too. But I tell you what, let's move into another part of this. I'm going to try to talk about the implications of applying the RICO Act to UFO disclosure and could have several potential impact on individuals who have had UFO experiences. So let's just talk about validation. If a government entity was proven to have covered up UFO sightings or encounters, it could validate the experiences of those who have seen a UFO or are believed to have had contact. What do y'all think? So in other words, if somebody was to go to court and then win against the big secret keepers, would that provide validation for the people who are sitting back at home saying, see, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. They have been tapping my phone or they've been doing this thing or whatever. What do y'all think about that? Would that provide a victory? Would that provide some type of vindication for people on the public? Say, what about for you? Anybody who's had an experience, all of that stuff you can kind of see from there. Pamela says, great topics. Like to see some people held accountable, but have no belief it would happen. I think there will be somebody thrown to the wolves. I think the bigger players will probably give a opening so that they can go after some smaller people just to see how they need to clean up their act. You know what I mean? There'll be some sacrificial lambs that it just may work. And they're going to be like, let's see if this will work. Because if they do that to them, it sets the precedent of them coming after us. And then we need to close that window up. But let's just see what happens. Somebody feed them some information about Joe Bob over their company, that's hiding stuff. You never know. they probably would do. They probably would do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't doubt it one bit. But again, let's think tonight's stars, and that would be our new member to our membership, which is Judith tonight. And then we have a new member, April, is one of our new members tonight as well. And so thank both of you for joining that tonight. So, all right, what about so if anyone that is new or whatever, and you want to chime in on the conversation and tell us your thoughts, there's a number on the screen right there. I haven't got one call yet, so maybe nobody wants to talk, but that's cool. I'm not forcing you to, you know, maybe you just don't want to. All right, that's cool. Kia said it would provide validation, but also open the Pandora's box for fraudulent claims and would need some serious oversight. I don't think. I hear what you're saying. I would think because of the magnitude of proof that a RICO Act would take to convict, you know, the evidence itself has to be so overwhelming. I don't think any of those things would even make it to court if somebody just didn't have enough evidence, or I don't think any of those attorneys will probably put themselves on the line or their firms on the edge of this thing with not overly substantiated evidence to prove that the RICO Act exists. And it's probably why it was put in place, because you got to have some real serious things to tie some people into this. And then, of course, you can probably tie people into the RICO Act, and they ain't even got to be nowhere near it. They could be waiting on over here in company X, and long as all the roads point to, you know, the people that's doing it, then I'm sure that they can do it. But I don't think that something that big and the cost and all the things that it takes to probably go to court, Kia, I just don't think that somebody will probably do some falsehood there. You know what I mean? It's just going to take a little more resources for something that big to be put together and pay. And then what law firm is not going to say, I'll take the retainer with $1 million first? You know, you're going to have a few million just for me to even step out there to go against somebody with unlimited resources. So I think that'll be probably, you know, pretty much from there. Wolfman said they pick and they choose who they want and they're going to lock up. Well, I mean, like I said, they might throw somebody to the wolves, because you got to remember now the public is coming out to them. And so that's handled totally different than everything else. And so, all right, we're going to take a 3-minute break to show you the consciousness ward. And then maybe any of my team members, I may reach out to them and put them on a call. So I'll take the line off, and then Nicole or one of y'all, if y'all want to come on live, send me a message and I'll bring you into the call. So in the meantime, let me find this banners and take that down. All right. So as you know, we got the Conscious Award coming up. And so we're definitely promoting that to make sure that you get your tickets and everything else. This is a 3-minute break video talking about the Conscious Awards. So I'll definitely want you to get your tickets. And then in the link, there should be some ways that you can go in and get closer to that. So in the meantime, let me play this. It's 2 minutes.
Hey everybody, it's Billy Carson, also known as Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about a very special event coming up July 30th, 2023, the Forbidden Conscious Awards, the first annual event of its type. We're going to honor people who have been contributing to the conscious community for decades. People that you know and love that have helped you get to higher levels of thought and consciousness and awareness. And guess what? It's time to give them their flowers while they're still alive. It's going to be a live in-person event, but seats are going to sell out very fast. You want to make sure you're there in person for this amazing level event. It's going to be above the Oscars, above the Grammys. And guess what? You can help vote for the winners. Voting is available on forbiddenknowledge.com. And the categories are going to be social media influencer, podcast/radio host, TV host, actor, director, producer, entrepreneurs, health and wellness, philanthropists, authors, field researchers, archaeologists, space anomaly hunters, and of course, a Lifetime Achievement Award. and you want to be there in person because I'm going to be speaking. That's right, I'll be your keynote speaker that night at the Forbidden Conscious Awards. If you want to come to a mini conference, this is the place to be, because I'm going to give you the knowledge that night, as well as performances. We have celebrity guests performing. We'll have a halftime show where we're actually going to perform music for you. And don't forget about the pre-event mixer, where if you buy a box seat, you'll be in the VIP section, and you also have private access to a VIP mixer with celebrity guests. Shake hands, break bread, network, and then walk the red carpet with us and take amazing photos. It's going to be a night to remember. You don't want to forget this. And you help vote by going to forbiddenknowledge.com, go to the Conscious Awards link. You can text in a vote for who you want for any category, as well as if you're out of the country, you can use the web form ballot to still vote for anyone you think is worthy of being honored that night. Make sure you hurry up and get your tickets, because they're selling out very fast. I want to see you there. Forbidden Conscious Awards 2023.
All right. So as y'all know, I'm up for a vote. And from my understanding, you can vote again if you haven't. If you have not voted, make sure you voted. If you voted before, that was just to get me to the tier of the top 3. Now we want you to vote again to win. So definitely these are the 3 people in my TV host category. Robert Grant and Teresa Bullard. Some hard competition, but we can prevail. So if you go to voteforroderick.com, you now, once again, even if you've done it before, now do it again, because now we're picking the winners versus everything else. And so I would love for you to go there and pick me for that. And pretty much, all right. So we got some new people in the room, the social dig there. We have, who else? We got, yeah, that's it. Rob is new to y'all. Make sure y'all check out his channel there as well. Magneticus is in the house right now with us, and Girlfriend of Bay. Did you find the link to the membership? It was right there. I put it. Let me see if I need to put it again. Yeah, I know you were looking for it, and it'll give you like green thing if you were a member, because it'll tell us. That's for the YouTube side of stuff. But anyway, so all right, so let's get back on this thing right now. We're talking about Stephen Greer, the Disclosure Project, and him saying he's already got, he first said he had like 10, 20 lawyers. Then it turned to 100. And he said over the years, it's thousands now, lawyers, which will probably be needed. There it is right there, Liz. It's right there. The link is in the description. Not description, but the chat. The link is in the chat. All right. Everybody tell Liz where the link is. She said, never mind. She found it. All right, cool. All right. So, but here's the deal. So he now says he has Stephen Greer says he has thousands of attorneys that's on board with this thing. Now, these thousands of attorneys are there to handle. There we go. All right. Here we go. Right there. Okay. So, there she is, and she says she is now a new member. Y'all give all the members who are already members, give the new members a shout out real quick for me as well. So anyway, Summer is here. She says just quiet, making her bed, no problem. All right, so what I'm saying is he's saying that he has Dr. Greer says he has thousands of lawyers. And then with these thousands of lawyers is going to handle millions of people who can get in on this lawsuit of saying we're going to do the RICO Act lawsuit against the big secret keepers and everything else. And so I thought that was pretty cool that he's doing this. And like I said, now that I'm looking at the statutes, the things that could be charged with the RICO Act, and all these people can be charged with what is happening with the RICO Act, now that tells me that he may just be on to something really cool. All right. And I'm just saying that I'm on board with it a little bit. I may just be able to get behind him on this, even within theory or whatever we want to call it. You know, if it ain't a theory, a hypothesis of could this work, or whatever idea, however we want to put it. But just think about that all of those crimes or the crimes that could have been, I know, right? She talked about Roderick on board with Greer. You know what? I think it's brilliant. It's a lot of stuff that Stephen Greer says and everything. I'm cool with what he does and everything, but it's in the level of, where I would just have to say some of the conversations when he talks about that maybe everybody out there is benevolent, and you think maybe there's some bad aliens out there or extraterrestrials, but this here on the ground level makes sense because it's no different than bringing the collective together. Same thing I'm doing with Project Black, where I'm getting a collective of people to go after, another sort, not another source, but disproportionately conversations. You know what I mean? So y'all give Sherry a shout out for coming a member. Thank you, Sherry. Welcome as well in support of the channel and everything else. And so, yeah, like I said, I'm down. Matthew said he voted for me. Appreciate it. Cool. Thank you. And I'm down with the program, right? I'm down with now that he's doing this from that level because, like I said, it's interesting because it's probably could possibly be the most powerful weapon, I'm using that word, in the people's arsenal to get the big secret keepers to maybe come up with some disclosure. Because Rob will tell you, Rob had this mission that maybe we'll get some of it at the first of the year or maybe at the year, but I couldn't really see how, right? But now, what power would we have used to get them to do it? Not with Congress. Congress, hell no. They can control that. Senators, just like we said, they can control that. They can keep them under wraps. But if you got a massive amount of people filing some lawsuits that's going through the circuits of courts with billions of dollars behind it, the power of thousands and millions of people, and the law itself that's written in such a way that those things that they're doing would follow into that. It's one of those things. Ross said it'll happen sooner. Well, with what Stephen Greer is doing, we can get some disclosure in the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, 5-6 years. It's going to take. They're going to hold this shit up in court for until the judges die. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what we got. Hang on. All righty. Hold on. Okay. Hello? Oh, hold on. Okay. All right. Can you hear me? Yeah, hold on. Let me bring you into the fray here. 1 second. All right. So you're on live with Why the Big Secret. Who are we speaking with? Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. You can't hear me now? Well, hold on a second. Let me try something else. Can you hear me now?
I can still hear you now.
All right. Well, I'm trying to plug you up so that everyone else can hear you. Hang on 1 second. Let me see what we got. Why?
Okay, I'm gonna just use my first name then.
All right. Well, just hang on. Yeah, that's fine. You could do that. I'm just trying to make sure I can patch you in. Hold on.
We might be cousins.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'm just okay. Let me do this. Hang on, cousin. 1 second. Let me check my 1 moment. Bluetooth is on. We are good. Rollcaster is good. All right. Disconnect. Let's connect it again. All right. So, okay. Maybe something is wrong. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh, you there now? All right.
Yes,
so
I can.
All right. So, all right. You first name, you said only. Let's go. What's the first name?
Daryl.
Your first name is Daryl. So if I use my lie detector test, which is going off the roof over here, that's not your first name.
Oh, that is my first name.
I know. I'm just kidding. I don't have one of those anyway. I want one though. I want one. But a liar will be
No,
like,
but-
I'm not lying.
no,
How did you catch me? But anyway,
So,
all right.
so just me and you are talking right now?
It's me and you talking right now. And
Okay, but my name is
no,
Martin.
don't do it. I'm lying to you, brother. They are listening. You are live on the show.
Okay, well, I'm out there then.
Yeah, but they didn't hear it. They didn't hear it because there's a delay. But all right, you don't have to. But anyway, just use Daryl and let's go from there.
Can I just to make sure my question is on your line? Can I tell you right now before they hear it?
Let's see first. Let me do a test. Do y'all hear him okay online? Let me make sure my audience is listening here. Hang on. I need to see in the chat. Anybody, y'all make sure y'all hear him right now so I'll know. Give me a second. It takes a delay for them to let me know. Yes, okay. One person says they can hear, second person, third one said we can hear. They can hear you now. So let's go. What are we talking about?
Okay, I'm talking about the murder of Barney.
Barney?
That was murder, the Barney and Betty thing with the abductees.
Okay, so
the interracial couple.
Yes,
I'm saying that Barney was poisoned and murdered because in the Bible Belt, it was neck and neck competition to what should be kept secret, UFO or interracial marriage. So it was a very close race for what was going on. So as the story got going, they realized it was a free commercial promoting interracial marriage. So they hurried up and poisoned Barney, and he's done with.
Yeah, but you look all right. Let's go with their theory on that, or hypothesis, or we'll start there. All right. So give me some facts first, and then I'm gonna give you what I'm thinking about what you said as far as the free commercial, which is a great, point that you're making. But I'm gonna probably have to give you my opinion, which is probably a little different. But why do you think, or what do you would say how you think they poisoned him? How did this go down? Because nobody talks about that, right?
Right. You asked, first of all, you asked me for facts. I don't have any facts.
Okay.
I just have the pattern. I'm just recognizing the pattern.
Okay. That's fair enough.
And I know the capabilities of poisoning people.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the timing of the peak of the traction of the story, and then of Barney's death. I'm looking at that timeline.
Well, okay. So let's go back to what you said earlier as far as the commercial of a biracial relationship at that point, which probably could have back then was a problem. We know that. Okay. Now by killing him though, all that did was make him a martyr. I mean, we know now, the story itself is propelled through generations.
No, by killing him, Betty or whatever, his wife becomes the story, not him.
Okay, not him. All right.
By killing him, it's her as an abductee and the and the green little men.
Okay.
That became the story.
I mean, I understand that. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying we know that the big secret was the UFO abduction. We know that their story, over history now, there's been books written about it. I know Kathleen Martin herself, his niece or her niece, and all the stories. So it's still in every book and every story, they're still talking about Barney Hill. They're still putting the commercial of interracial relationship out front, and it's still the story. So
but it's not 1953 no more.
All right. Okay. All right. I mean, if you, you know what, that I'll go with that a little bit, because one of the foundations of Project Black that I talk about is during that time frame that we didn't get a lot of, minority or indigenous stories reported back then, because there was no place to report them that wasn't compromised for people like, people of color and stuff to go to and say, hey, I want to go report a UFO story or something. And they're like, wait a minute, are you nuts? Let's put you in a straitjacket. But I'm still a little off a little bit about that, but I'm down with the program of I'm down with the program of what you're saying, the year, the timing, and why all of that could be an issue. But I wouldn't think that they will be so upset about it to say, okay, let's poison this dude and then let's get him off the airways. Because back then it wasn't a big story, was it? I mean, it was, but it probably.
You know what?
Yeah.
The point is they needed him to disappear quickly, because, like I said, that was free advertisement in 1953 in the Bible Belt of North Carolina, and they did not want they didn't even want the idea of the public imagining these people having a comfortable life before this incident.
Okay.
Or a happy get together.
I'll move up with you on that. And definitely look at me talking about move up with you. I'm reading Sherry's talk about I just moved up the truth seeker level, and I want to thank her for doing that. And I'm sitting reading I'll move up with you. I'm saying our conversation, so that's me saying them both. But now Geo Compass says New England has always been different society toward interracial marriage. So the Gov is definitely capable of silence. So there's someone in here saying that he agreed with you. He said, I don't think it was NC. New England is what you're saying. But anyway, so all right. So you got some people that are saying, and if you're in the audience right now, give me a 1 if you guys kind of go with what he's saying when it comes down to maybe Barney was poisoned because they wanted to get that side of the, that was bigger than the story of the extraterrestrial.
I'm saying he was murdered.
Okay.
That's their story poison. That's their story poison. I know they have the capability of giving somebody cancer quickly with a quickening. And okay. I'm just saying I'm just saying he was murdered. That's what they printed up. Get 1953 autopsies when the good old boys just needed a signature. It's almost a waste of time.
I'm with you. Okay. All right. So what do you think if we wanted to go back? Now they're talking about the RICO Act, because it would have to have taken some organizing to get this done. What part of the RICO Act could his family or somebody go back and sue the big secret keepers? What are your thoughts?
His family. Okay.
And then we're gonna ask how you think you and our family too. Give me some hints.
How I think I'm in. Say that again. The second one.
The second one, you said you and I may be related, didn't you? Say that?
Oh, just with the last name. That's all.
Oh, all right. So now they got a clue. Not now they got your first and last name now.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it's all good. All right. So, all right, man. Appreciate you calling in. I'm gonna open the lines up for someone else if they want to hop in and give us their opinion on it. But maybe somebody else can shine the light on what you're saying too. I mean, I'm not against what you're saying at all. I'm not even saying that they're not capable. They are fully capable, and what you're saying can be put on a list of highly probabilities, right? I'm not going to definitively say that's what happened to him, but I'm not disagreeing. I'll go with you on a journey. If you told me we want to go look for evidence, I'll go.
Here's one last wild card.
Okay. Oh, now we're talking.
In 2023, if they can hire psychics to find missing, murdered people, would they use that, and would they also use a remote viewer to go back and see what happened?
Now, can a remote viewer? I didn't know. Now I've studied remote viewing. I've done it, and I'm getting better at it. I do have a person teaching me. I did. I don't. I think I haven't studied it where we can go back in time, but you can go back. Giving coordinates is how that works, to look into a situation. But no, you're right. You can go back in time because we do go back for past events on it. Okay, well, all right? Let's go. I never think about going back.
That's my last wild card.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good with that. All right, brother. All right, appreciate you calling.
All right.
All right. There y'all have it. He makes some great points, some real great points. So anyway, he made some great points. Some great points there. Let me read some of the remarks here. Mark Eddie, what's going on? Welcome to the show tonight. D says, well, the deathbed confession of CIA agent that poisoned Bob Marley threw a nail in his shoe. I never even heard that, but that will be a great story or something to kind of talk about. If you find any articles or something like that on Indeed, definitely hit it to, Why the Big Secret. I definitely would love to. Just a personal plight down that road I would take. Dr. Greer CE5 program already does remote viewing. Okay, that's cool. Pamela says, I wouldn't be surprised. I think people have been threatened in their lives, their reputation, careers, marriages destroyed, and some have lost their lives over technology, all to shut people up. You damn Skippy. Without a bottom line, I mean, you're definitely, onto that one. Barney's encounter happened in New Hampshire, so that's far from the Bible Belt. All right, so that's someone. If you just heard, so someone saying that it was in two different places at this point, the encounter, but he's not saying the encounter itself. He's just saying the national implications that. When this case went national, it shedded a light on two people, and they just so happened to be interracial. And so, therefore, if the story was picking up steam and being done and talked about, then they needed to shut that side of this thing down. I'm assuming that, part of what he was talking about. So not so much of just seeing the actual location, but then I also get what you saying. The Bible Belt wasn't near Barney and Betty Hill. So everybody's making their points. So I'm down with the program. I'm not choosing sides. I'm just talking. And I could be wrong too. Savon says, I would consider Dolores Cannon a remote viewer. Yeah, I would say that. And Wolfman said he never heard that. What is it that you're talking about, Wolfman? And we'll go from there as well. Yeah, so I think, one of the things to really look into, like I said earlier, when I start giving you all the case of the RICO Act that Dr. Stephen Greer is saying could be used, and like I said, the biggest thing you're going to need for a RICO Act is evidence, right? So even like earlier, I think we was talking about, could they show bribery, which you have to have a paper trail, but what if somebody comes forward who actually worked in accounting of a company, and all of a sudden they're doing a Whistleblowers Act and they're saying, hey, here's the money trail. I saw it. I signed the checks, or I saw them go wherever they was going, or, all of this. So this makes a great point. And like I said, I would probably go down a journey, and I'm on record saying this, with Dr. Greer with this particular approach, and just to see. Now, I'm not filing no lawsuit, because then they turn to say, let's just take everybody out who filed the lawsuit so they don't show up in court. We're going to win by default because they didn't make it to court. And all they got to do is make sure about 10 different people don't make the court. And then the word gets out to the other 1,000 cases. Everybody's going to drop them cases. They're going to be like, nope. I'm dropping my case. Yep, I'm dropping my case. I'm dropping mine. And and so it just kind of go from there. Pamela said, I'm not a huge supporter, but if he gets the right people involved, then those crooks are prosecuted. Well, I mean, we can say that, Pamela, but I don't think we're gonna see a wide, belt of prosecutions. I don't see that happening. but I do see it making enough noise to get a couple of those rats to scurry, a couple of roaches to go hiding in the holes, right? Because it's just there's going to be some who cannot defend themselves against the power of a collective group of thousands of lawyers and millions of people. Now we know the big secret keepers can, we know they can. They got the pocketbook. They got your and our money, right? And it's one of those things. And in fact, it's coming back to UFO taxes that I'm going to be putting out. Y'all need to check that out. And I'm just thinking of a tagline: your money, your work, your job, your money, your whatever. But anyway, if y'all have not, let me show you the latest disclosure shirt that we have, or disinformation. And these two just came out, but they're limited edition. This is disinformation t-shirt. It's on the website, Why the Big Secret, right now. And just remember, all our shirts, what you see the price, including taxes and shipping. So I know some people were saying that they can't afford it, but if you think about it, I did not separate the shipment. I'll do that next batches, because some of those shipping these last few shirts to some people are more than what I'm getting into that umbrella of the taxes that I got to pay in the on the $30 is plus as the shipping in it. And so I need to set it so it's paid at the register when you check out. But yeah, so but anyway, once again, if you want to support the show and sponsors tonight's show, then I can go back and edit some stuff for you. You can do that. There's our cash out below at the Why the Big Secret, from there. And all contributions is so helpful. And when you do receive your shirt, those who have ordered your shirts, I'm gonna start adding some other colors and things, but I need the photographs, if you don't mind, of you wearing those shirts. Go back to our website, Why the Big Secret, and then .com, and then there is a place now that you can add photo or video, and if you have any experience that you want to add, you can go to whythebigsecret.com. You'll see Project Black. When you click it, it'll allow you to go in and add information if you want to be a volunteer or share your story. And as some of you have already realized, I've been calling those back this week, talking to you personally. Going to have you to share your stories on the show live and all of those. And I want to appreciate the courage that a lot of you are showing in the sentiment that you're placing in those conversations, in that input, saying that Project Black is going to help and do some things. And so I'm just love to have how this is coming together. So I just want to appreciate there. But all right, let me now, like I said before, I started into this last part of the RICO Act, and just put my little background just to say this last part. All right, so not the last part, but one of the things that I tried to say, if the RICO Act was successful, what would happen? And we talked about validation a while ago. Now, what about increased transparency? If the successful application of the RICO Act could potentially lead to greater transparency in the government and organizations dealing with UFOs, meaning people might have access to more information, could better understand their own experiences. Do you think that would happen, that just by them losing in that capacity would help somebody get to a point to where they are comfortable about their own experiences? So how would Stephen Greer's, not only to get disclosure out, but what would be the social implications of how it would serve the many, not just us truth seekers who want the truth, but what about the experiences? What about the people who actually are experiencing or had experiences that have been nulled because of all these efforts and extortion, probably money laundering, bribery, drug trafficking, all these things that could be considered part of a RICO Act? How does this happen? And we can put that in here. So let's go here. Thank you. Pepper said, great show tonight. Thank you, Pepper. All right. And she says, as a 79-year-old retired officer of the CIA, Bill Oleksy has made a series of stunning confessions since he was admitted to the Mercy Hospital in Maine. He claims he committed 17 assassinations, 4 in the USA. Man, hey, you know what? That's man, that'd be something, everybody's on their deathbed is like, what the hell are you gonna do to me now? I'm about to die. So basically, I can spill the beans. What Whistleblowers Act do I need? But if they go to his bedside and say, hey, listen, if you keep talking, we ain't talking about you, but we talking about, Clara Huxtable that you leaving behind over there, your wife. We're going to go and do some stuff, Okay, so that's, yeah. All right. So that was Bob Marley's murder. Okay, is what you're saying. Okay, cool. Magnetica says spiders in the boots works like a nail in a shoe. Yeah, right. That's the information I was asking for. Okay, so that's cool. All right. But what about how could, once again, the RICO Act help people with awareness and support and experiences and all of this? I'm trying to put two sides of this, right? And if you just joined us, we're talking about the RICO Act. We're talking about Dr. Stephen Greer with the Disclosure Project had a kind of a release of a video about 9 days ago where he goes into full detail about how the Disclosure Act or the Disclosure Project could use the RICO Act to force the hands of the big secret keepers. He even explained of an unusual event that happened that someone reported some type of craft that was, it's man-made, but it was an alien craft that somehow pulled up to this port, whatever it was, and they witnessed it offloading like guns and all this kind of stuff. So obviously the technology or the transportation of this vessel probably had cloaking devices built in. I don't know. Whatever it is, they felt comfortable enough that they can go from point A to point B undetected and offload illegal weapons and things for the cash money so that this thing could be developed on in the hands of on our human level, right? Or it was human anyway, but I'm saying, without detection of the public saying, where all this money is going. So that goes back into some of the illegal operations. And he was saying that they do have witnesses that can come forward that have information and evidence to prove those points. And then you take those cases and couple them with other cases. And then if you start connecting all the dots, then you can start saying, wait a minute, this is organized crime, right? This is an organized effort. Therefore, now we got the RICO. But who do you sue the government? If everybody's operating, if they're government officials and they're operating together under the government's umbrella, who goes to jail for that? How could they go to jail? It's almost like the president saying he has presidential authority, or this is, some of these people saying this is, when they're talking about court cases now and that this is privilege, right? Presidential privilege or something they were saying. But how do you go against stuff like that? I don't know. That'll be something that we could think about, but when it goes down to that. All right. So as we come toward the tail end of what we're talking about, it is Friday night. Anyone else need to call in and we can talk about anything you want a little bit, or if Nicole is ready, I told her I'd call her out, but she's eating. And so if she's still eating, she's eating a lot of eating, and sometimes, they may have a big plate on Friday, and so she can't come on while she's still eating because she's doing a lot of eating. So, I get it. Something wrong with that. Who doesn't eat a lot on Friday night? Yeah, I'm just joking. Anyway, she's probably like, what are you talking about, boy? All right. So, but anyway, you should do a show on Bob Marley's story if you find out anything. Well, supposedly I'll get some emails. Dee Henderson said that she was sent out some email or more details other than what she put there. You were eating crabs. Oh, shit. I wouldn't have got up. Let me, somebody call me right now and say, Rod, we got some crabs. You talking about crab like Dunton crabs, the little bitty ones, or you talking about crab legs like Alaskan king crab? But regardless, crab is crab. And if you let somebody call me and tell me, Rod, we got some crab, Rod, we got some crab right now. Shut the show down and come on. Shoot. Man, y'all gonna hear some music. Dun, dun. Truth seekers, I'm out of here. Whatever. Shoot. That's one of my most favorite foods if I can have crab legs. And if y'all go in history, look up the crab legs, and you would know back in history, crab legs, like Alaskan, I don't know if it's Alaskan, but at least over there in the East Coast or whatever. Crab legs was fed to prisoners. It wasn't a delicacy back early on. It was a prisoner food. They just like, this is just the sorriest food, the scavengers, whatever. We're going to give it to the prisoners. Man, I probably would have went to prison back then just to eat a bunch of crab legs, you know? I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't. And I wouldn't even go. But I'm just saying, what made it now a delicacy today, but yet lobster, yeah, crab, all of that stuff was considered for prison food only. And the prisoners probably was complaining and had a riot and had a whole stabbing riot because they did not want to eat crab legs every day. Whoa, you know, think about that one. Well, anyway, she says she's at her parents' house and they treat it. Okay, well, good old parents. Tell them they got kudos for that. All right, so let me go back over real quickly for those who just hopped in, and then I'll bring it home real quick. We're talking about Stephen Greer video that he put out, but anyway, the Disclosure Project, which is held by Greer, comes together and says that prisoners doesn't have any butter. Okay, y'all good, because you're right. They probably just eat some plain, but if they get the right crab, it's still got a sweet flavor without the butter. We know that, right? So anyway, the RICO Act stands for Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. It's in the U.S. federal law that provides extended criminal penalties and a civil cause of action for acts performed as a part of ongoing criminal organization. The act was passed in 1970 with the primary intent to target the mafia. And the reason I'm sure they were after the mafia, because the mafia at the time, tentacles was all over the place. So you got crime bosses and bosses who probably didn't touch anything on the ground. So therefore, because I didn't touch the money or you didn't see me do the crime, I didn't shoot him. Actually, it was hard to really pin something on the mafia, like, you know, Teflon Don, y'all remember that story and all of that. But we're talking, so they came up with the RICO Act and saying that as long as we can point the fingers and we can put it as an organized effort, and we go and connect the dots of who's charge of the family at the time, then we can take down the entire family. But who would ever thought 20, 30, 40 years later, 53 years later, because it came in 1970 and I was born in 1970, so that's easy. I'm 53. So 53 years later, that the consideration would be able to take the RICO Act to say, we're going to use these things to go after the big secret keepers and everything else. And some of the offenses in that is kidnapping. And okay, we know probably a lot of people have come up missing. Bribery, we know that's happening. We know extortion is happening, counterfeiting, racketeering, all of those things. And so if we go back to some of the capabilities that some of these companies, people, organizations, all of it possibly have done, then it makes sense that what Stephen Greer is talking about. And then you couple that with someone who can be a witness who now can come under the Whistleblowers Act and be protected. The law still has to protect those people the same way. Then you got a time bomb that can really be set off that can probably wake some stuff up. Now, I don't know how far it would go. I don't know, because you still got the judge in the systems. And so you're still going to have a handful of judges that possibly is not down with that, or could be compromised as well. And all they got to do is just throw it out of court or say no. But I'm sure when one case and one judge opens that floodplain, and that will probably be a judge that's going to be young, who grew up in the phenomenon right now, who's curious, and that judge is going to be the one who's going to turn that thing upside down. And so I think that'll be the one. That'll be the one who does that, and it'll be something from there. Marla, welcome to the show. Kina, welcome to the show as well. Any of you want to support Why the Big Secret right here on YouTube? And one of the reasons we're doing this, as y'all know, Project Black is in full effect. I have talked to 7 different huge influencers. 5 of them are some well-known people, and 5 of them have things that they need to support too. So some of them have charities, different things that I need to support. they're down with the program, but it is what they do. They have given me some leeway and some things that, you know, to bring them on board, but the funding is not in my pocket. Oh my God, it's not. But I'm not disagreeing, because this is what they do for a living. But just the fact that they would associate themselves with Project Black, they're willing to come with us, even though they totally understand what we're doing. It's not just a Black thing; it's a community thing. I was just blown away for the acceptance that I'm getting and for the people that's supporting. But at the end of the day, we definitely need to and pretty much go from there. Oh, Jen says okay. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, so definitely I just want to say to all the people that are getting the memberships, what happened for that particular part, it'll go through YouTube, be a little more simple, and then each month as it grows, we would then have the resources to really expand the content, some things that we're doing here and everything else. And it's been an incredible ride, though. It's been an incredible ride. Have some incredible people who have stepped in between things and have supported the show, supported me on a personal level, you know, just really trying as a human, trying to improve that, as well as the show and everything else. And my, you know, obsession with making sure that I don't let you down, but also provide what we're going to go is also inviting a lot of change behind the scenes that you're going to see. But ultimately, it's going to be for the best interest of how we present our content, do some stuff, some storytelling videos, some live streams, some interviews. We're going to roll out the whole smorgasbord when it comes down to this, and cover a lot of stories, and then try to interweave them into everyday things from there. All right. Anybody got any other questions too? So Dr. Greer rules. I've done CE5 and I've seen UFOs. So Scully says he done CE5 and have seen 3 UFOs. We would love to hear some stories about that. Why don't you call in tonight? Tell us about it. You good with that? You mind? Let's do it. Wolfman says, keep the passion. Everything will fall into place. Yeah, I have a passion. I got the passion. Sometimes it's overwhelming, because with that passion becomes some responsibility. And then it also comes a lot of work other than just being right here in front of you and saying we're going to talk about it, but equipment, different stuff. And then also planning the approach, because I can talk about any and everything, but my goal is to create the content that's shareable, that you all are going to share and do some. I want him to call. Yeah, I want him to call too. So there you go, Scully. You know, if you want the number, I'll put it on the screen and then you call in. Did somebody call in? I don't want this live to end. I know, right? If somebody calls in, we can keep it going. If it gets to a point, yeah, I do have to end it, but I won't end if there's interaction. I will end if I stand alone and I stand here and, you know, because Nicole done ate all the crab legs. So what the hell? Fuck. You know, she done ate it all up. So I'm not getting any of that. You know what I'm saying? And they 16 states away. So I wasn't getting any anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I just dream about the crab legs, you know, and be like, what? I wouldn't mind having that. I went to Red Lobster. They don't, here in Dallas, they don't even sell crab legs, king crab, Alaskan crab anymore. And the price is probably off. One time they had like 2 legs about this big, and them thing was $100. Like, what the fuck? Put that shit back on that crab and send him back in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget that. And as y'all can see in the chat, those 3, Jen, D, Laura, all of them with the green marks are, just let you know, they are members and supporters of the show here through YouTube. And I appreciate it. Oh, okay. So, yeah, and it's no joke when it comes down to this. You know, I'm trying to, at some point, you know, put this content stuff together so that we have hundreds and hundreds of people coming and watching the videos, and then of course the ad revenue, sponsorships, you know, all of those things can come into play, because, you know, we talk about weird stuff here, so we don't get the normal sponsors. But if anybody got businesses out there and you're listening and you want us to promote your business and you want to be a backer of the show, man, we'll promote the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? We'll promote you. and we'll thank you too. Pretty much, Yeah, we can do a ribbon cutting ceremony, virtual, whatever. And so if you want to do that. All right, so phone line is going to be open. You have my vote. Thank you. I appreciate you, NFE Source Energy. Yeah, and if you have not had a chance to post a comment and you watching, let me know if you hear. Let everybody know you hear. If post for the first time, post a comment for the first time, positive comment if you can, and let's just give a shout out to some people, not to just waste your time, but to bring acknowledgement. Scully says anyone could do CA5. Try for you. Do you want to call in to the show and tell us about your experience? Everybody want to hear it, Scully. I put the number on the screen earlier. Let me do it again. Boom. Right there. All right. So the number is up there, Scully. Dial a number, and it's going to come here to the phone, and then I want you to tell us about that experience. Yeah, call in, Scully. Woo-wah, let's do it. All right. So someone new there is the Coronala Leo. Thank you. Welcome. Anyone else new? So let's see anyone else to do that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Let's go to the next live stream. Yeah. Yeah, you can. And also we're going to be doing, matter of fact, I'm trying to figure it out, but I do have Native V helping me. We're going to be figuring out where we have this new random wheel thing. So I'm going to be giving out some free shirts. And all you're going to do is enter your name, and each week we're going to pull from the name in the shirt. You got to be present to win. We'll enter the names in this particular one of the live streams. We'll do it the next one. I'm just working out the details. And then every week when we do the live stream, if you're present when we spin the wheel, it'll tell the name, then it will do that. And so we will, all right, we got a new member. Whoop, man, became a member. And hey, check it out, the membership, y'all. Y'all can do that because it's anywhere from $2.99 on up. So, so $2.99. If we get hundreds and hundreds of people doing that, that'll be enough for us to get some hell of a speakers here. And I'm not just talking to anybody. I'm talking reaching out to some official people who does this for a living, but we bring them on our show. So every little bit count. And as everybody, all right, Wolfman is on top. So there you go. Savon says you on top and appreciate it. Yeah, Scully. So Scully's not going to call us. And I know y'all begging. He says, my experience is boring and cops always make fun of my voice. So I don't like calling. Listen, Scully, listen to this. If you call me together, if you think we're going to make fun of your voice, I can change my voice and then you and I could talk
together. I can talk like this. You talk like what you talk like, and then they'll be laughing at what I talk like, and they won't even give a fuck about what you sound like because they'll be listening to what I sound like. You dig? How about that? Yeah, we could do that.
So yeah, so you know what I'm saying? We could definitely, bring the attention on me and off of you. Yeah. So there you go. So you can call, Scully. You can call. Y'all, we just need a chant. Scully, 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 Scully. We chant. Ha ha ha. So, all right, let's do this. We're gonna bring Nicole into the conversation. Let's do that. Let's see what we got. Hold on. Let me see if I can put you on. He said some man. Whoa.
He said, "What's up, man?"
Oh, I thought he said like some man is calling. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you in on my thing here. Why is that? I know the Bluetooth is open. Hold on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to switch it. Let me see. Let's go to my Bluetooth. Let's go to the roadcaster. Let's reconnect it. Let's disconnect it and reconnect. All right. Boom. All right. So did it connect? Nope.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you on the phone. I got you on my speaker, but I don't have you on. Let me try to. I'm gonna hang up and call right back. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm trying to make sure that I bring. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see if this works. Yeah, should work. All right. Well, I'm getting. I don't know why we're not plugging you in, but why I don't have an option for you. Okay, maybe you got to hang up and call me. How about you do that?
Okay, I can do that.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah. All right, y'all. That is the greatness in Nicole calling, and I'm trying to hook her up into the system so you all can hear her, and then I can do what I'm doing. Let's see. All right. All right, hold on. Let's see. We got that. I just don't know why my phone is not working. I don't know why it's not working, Nicole. It should be working. Hang on. Stranger things has happened. Okay, I'm trying to add her into the call, but
Okay.
I don't know. I need to try to fix it first. I'll text you again if I can get it fixed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So I was trying to bring Nicole into it. I need to fix my little thing to pick up. It's saying that it's here, but you know what? Let's do this. We'll turn it all the way on completely. I'm going to do the Rodecaster Pro. It's saying it's connected. And if I was to dial out anywhere, then you should be able to hear it. But I don't. All right, I don't know. It's broken. Maybe it's broken. So, all right. So it's broken. Maybe it just got really broken and I can't put some stuff together to make it work, y'all. Man. All right. So at this point, we'll get ready to shut down here in just a little bit. I was trying to get it to work so we can have a call in, but for some reason, this Bluetooth section on this thing is not. It says the iPhone. Huh. All right. Let me try one more thing. Bluetooth. iPhone. Okay. Let me see here. Bluetooth, iPhone. Hang on. And all right. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Since we on here, I'm gonna reset the iPhone. Okay. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna pull the case off the iPhone just so ain't nothing bothering it. I got an iPhone 7. It's old. I wish I had a new one. I got an iPhone 7. This thing is like, oh, thank you, Infinity Source Energy, for supporting the channel. All right, appreciate it. Spaced Out Radio, because the beard is so gorgeous. We did a panel the other night, y'all. We did a panel, and we were on there. And thank you, Jen. Jen says the beard is majestic. It covers up a lot of things, multiple things. The beard. Let me cut the phone back on and see. Now I'm gonna be on Spaced Out Radio in a few days, so y'all make sure y'all hop on, and then we're gonna have him over here too, and we're gonna get down. So let me put this thing. He said, "Sounds like Barry White if he was a midget." You'll never find. That's Lou Rawls. You don't know nothing about Lou Rawls. Love like mine. Somebody love you. Like you don't know nothing about that. You're too young for Lou Rawls. My dad used to play that stuff. And Slick Small Liquor beer, Bull beer he used to drink. All right, so I'm cutting the phone back on. If this works, we'll try to reach Nicole again and do that. But anyway, the greatness of Spaced Out Radio. All right, y'all make sure y'all give them. Dave Scott is in the house. Spaced Out Radio. And see, y'all need to check out a video. We did a panel. Dave doesn't know it though. I'm gonna have to admit this. When he stepped away, he takes these breaks, like for radio breaks, because they live on the radio. And then he stepped away, and then while he was gone, I cut on the thing, and I was like, attention everyone, this is, Spaced Out Radio show. He probably didn't know, nobody ain't told him. But if you go back in the show when he stepped away, he's gonna see me like just really cut up with the mic, blah, blah, blah. I was going, and we have such and such. I was going. So check it out, Dave. You probably missed it. All right, so let me try to see if I can get the phone to work, the Bluetooth back on, Rodecaster Pro 2, if it's connected. All right, so let's see if we can do this. Marla says I'm going to have to do it later. To figure out what, Marla? What do you got to do? Become a member or something? It's not that hard, I think. All right. The Bluetooth is working. It's not working. Okay, it says it's connected. So let's see if I can make a call. Nicole, I'm just trying. Hopefully it's work. If it don't, then I can hear you, but let me see if I can bring you into the fray here and see why my phone is not doing what it's supposed to do. Okay. All right, so we tried. It is not working.
It's not working.
No, I mean, it's like, and I'm paying all this money for this darn thing too. Yeah, we can't see you. Tell him we can't see him, but we can hear him. He good. He cool. And did you didn't send me Nicholas shirt size, did you?
Nicholas shirt size? No.
Yeah, I need it.
Send you mine.
Yeah, I need his too. Remember, he got to get his Truth Seeker shirt. I'm gonna send him one. Quan then. The Quan is the oldest one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
He like
well, they saying they can hear you. They saying they can hear you on the speakerphone. If I put the phone up to the thing, but
okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you're really clear. I just got it sitting up here, but it's like I'm looking all goofy though, just sitting up here holding it. But I'm gonna look goofy for the crowd. You know what I'm saying? I'm a team player.
Okay, yeah, I see D said that they can hear me.
Yeah, I mean, I got the phone on the mic, but I have sophisticated systems here, like NASA and shit, that don't do shit, but it does. You know what I'm saying? I have,
right.
Yeah, I unlimited budget because it's paid for this $800 item, so the budget is clear that what it's supposed to do, it does. But all right, so we was talking earlier. You sent me the video on Stephen Greer. So what are your thoughts? Let's go with that.
I'm kind of torn. Like, I want it to happen, but I feel like it's not going to happen. Like, I want to see something come to fruition out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he's trying to create a buzz, so maybe like the 3-letter agencies will pick it up and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to believe because so many things have been pushed out there and like shut down that I just don't know. But I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping something comes of it, even if it's just we hear more whistleblower testimony, and then they have to just keep paying more and more attention to things. Like, the more things that get leaked out, the more whistleblower testimony that comes out, the more they have to pay attention to the whole UAP phenomenon. Like, keep it in the mainstream media, keep it going, like keep pushing it. And so it becomes an issue that cannot be ignored. And I think like a lot of folks are trying to really harp on that now, like Dr. Greer, Jeremy Corbell, and a lot of others that are, we see in the mainstream media being interviewed, talking about these subjects, and they're actually like being taken seriously for once instead of just shutting everything down. Dr. Greer is supposed to have this conference in a couple weeks, in DC, and he's supposed to do another one of his big press club conferences with all these whistleblowers and folks giving their testimony. And supposedly some senators are going to be there in attendance. So maybe this will spark another initiative for, another hearing, open discussion. And maybe we'll hear some whistleblowers up on Capitol Hill, giving testimony. So, because it just seems like they keep skipping over that, they're showing footage and they're trying to debunk it, but they're not saying the whistleblowers. Sean Kirkpatrick is supposedly aware of these whistleblowers. So let's hear what the whistleblowers have to say.
Yeah, but people are misunderstanding the whistleblowers' agenda. When I say this, Nicole, it's like we still hear, oh, the Whistleblowers Act, that's amazing. It ain't designed to tell the public shit, though, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, and I know the little boys listen. Let me, sugar honey.
He can't hear you. I have on headphones.
All right, thanks. But you know what I'm saying? It's not designed for us. It's only designed for Congress to hear stuff that they normally wouldn't hear, and all they can still classify it as national security if they wanted to, or it ain't gonna protect somebody going on YouTube tomorrow and say, I work for NX company and we worked on a extraterrestrial DNA program. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be able to do that. Or they're not, it's not covering them for that. So still the flow of information going to go through the big secret keepers, and they're going to decide what we should hear and not. So on the other end of that, then I can see where Stephen Greer is going, and he's probably seeing exactly where I'm saying is that he's right there at the tip of the iceberg, and he's saying, I'm still not hearing nothing. Oh, I know who the whistleblowers are because they've been talking to me. Now they're going to go tell their stories, but at what cost and what benefit of them telling those stories? And how does it benefit the public outside of, once again, what would they tell us in the first place?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're going to have some people that will speak out to the public, especially depending on like what type of evidence they have, because I've heard things like people know where, the material is, like the evidence of downcraft, and all the way to people who have seen like the bodies. So it's sorry, my little echo here.
That's all right. You're good. Because otherwise I'll be singing Lou Rawls again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I just, it's just hard to say what's going to happen. But I have to say, like, out of all of the time that I have been looking into this whole phenomenon, this seems like the time to do it, if any. So,
you mean what? Like
to him?
You mean like the RICO?
Going for this RICO, yeah. It's like, in the past it would have been taken as a joke. So I think now it'll probably still be kind of taken as a joke, but people are paying attention now. So if he's saying these things and telling these stories and saying he has these whistleblowers, and then at this conference, some of these people show up and give their testimony to the public, then, and some senators are there at that here, at that press conference, that might be like, hey, what is this guy talking about? Like, is this true? And push Arrow and others to really like dig into their research. Like, why are there former military, former contractors coming out and saying these things? Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm with you on now on the other side of the fence. This is where I go rogue off the reservation of Dr. Greer's. I believe it's going to be a huge freaking money grab too. Could you imagine
of course.
how much money is going to come in for the defense fund of this thing, and then they can disperse it to the attorneys that they want to? You talking $1 billion over time? People are going to give
trillions.
Just going to go to his pocketbook of this thing. So right now, I announced my duty to get in on the disclose. No, not here. That's his thing. But I have a new movement. It's called UFO Taxes, and the taglines that I'm working on. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of taglines. I was already working on this thing. I'm just letting y'all know. So, let's see. Where's my taglines that I want to use for the UFO taxes? Yeah, I just want to use it and put it out there. Well, maybe not this time. But anyway, yeah. So it's gonna be a money grab. It's gonna be a lot of folks that's gonna give money to that. And I'm not against it, because Stephen Greer does a great job. He needs funding. I get it. He needs money to do what he's doing. And so therefore I'll support it. I don't have a lot to give, but I'll give. But I'm saying brilliant, not for that, but to use the RICO Act along with the power of the whistleblowers who can come behind scene and be protected now. And you do it from a ground level, from a level of where we are. So that's what I'm happy about.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just happy that it's being taken, a lot more seriously than in the past. Like, you can tell when you listen to these media interviews on all the major networks. I mean, like ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox, everybody's doing these interviews. I mean, it's making the rounds. And so hearing these, like, the tone of the different, reporters, like, how they're, in the past they made a lot of jokes, they're laughing, and now they're not laughing. They're like, is this serious? You can
which is true.
Like,
which is true, yeah.
Another good turn. Good tire.
Okay.
Good tire.
But you can hear the voices change, and you can hear them, just basically taking this thing a lot more serious than in the past, where it's just been like little green men, ha ha ha. Now it's like, UFOs are real? What?
I know, right? Yeah. Look, there you go. Look, Wolfman in there talking about, let me hook you up with Rod, Laura. He's single. It's not. I am not single. I need to tell everybody that. My goal is to marry my business, which I'm married to, and make my wife my mistress.
Oh no. You're not gonna have a successful marriage.
Yes, I am. It's gonna always be fun and interesting. I would always cheat with her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
It'll be perfect. Marry my business, make my wife my mistress. We will forever be together. You know how that works. I'm not you, but you know what I'm saying. Just it works. It works. It's a good formula, Maybe not. Maybe not be good. But I don't know. I think it's pretty much. But all right, so we have, let's see. With you getting the numbers out there and reporting on the ground level, which is a strong movement, but also would be good if you could get the whistleblowers on your show. I'm serious. The whistleblowers will be on the show, but I'll tell you what, Soulful Essence, you're not going to get them. At least I don't think so. I think it's a money grab right now for whistleblowers. Not for them, but there's people with pocketbooks now saying, wait a minute, come over here, talk to us. Because now, do y'all understand where I'm going with this? Because now every huge UFO person out there is always now saying that they know whistleblowers that went to Congress. Now I'm going to start that too. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't verify. But anyway, yesterday I know some whistleblowers that went to Congress too, and they told some stories. And y'all get what I'm saying? It's like everybody now is saying they know whistleblowers that have gone to Congress.
Yeah.
Where they at? That's what I'm saying. So it's like Why the big secret? We can say it too. Hey, y'all, yesterday I know some whistleblowers that told some shit to Congress yesterday will blow your mind. And it's like, I don't have to tell you nothing. You know, I don't even have to tell you what I think I know. I'm just making it up, right? But it's like it's a fad now. Everybody is saying they know all these whistleblowers who wasn't here that's gone to Congress that's telling all of this stuff that's supposed to be told that we still can't hear about.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what's the deal? You know?
Yeah, I want to know, like, where are these people at? I want to hear some testimony. You know, even if we don't get the full picture because some parts is classified, but I want to see, you know, I want to know, like, I want Congress to acknowledge that they talked to whistleblowers, because it's like you hear the one side, which
but they're not going to do that though.
Versus the Congress not even saying, like, we've interviewed 20 whistleblowers.
But if they did that, then you know what happens next. If they go on record to say they did talk to the whistleblowers, and I don't know how this amendment is written up, but then now we can use the FORA Act. We can say, what day you talked to them? The 20th, when? Now you submit the FORA Act saying, I need the FOIA's Freedom of Information Act. I need to know who was there, who attended the meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm sure that they got some provision. You know, we need to look that up though and really dissect the whistleblowers amendment, which it is public, and then look in there and see. I guarantee you we'll run through some things that we put the docs together that says to the public saying, y'all still not going to hear nothing. And you know what I'm saying? And y'all think y'all getting there. And that goes back to the shirt that's a limited edition. I'll bring it up. There's a shirt right there on the screen, disclosure. Y'all see what the UFO aliens are doing with their fingers up, saying y'all some damn fools. Y'all not going to get no disclosure. Yeah. It's a limited edition. I'm going to take it down off the website pretty soon. I had it made for another reason, but I just thought I'd let y'all know. And then we got the disinformation shirt. And both are on the Why the Big Secret website merch. The price that you will see on the website includes shipping, taxes, handling, bags, all the way to your doorstep. And it right here from our collective area is where we will print those up. So that's a good plug for the t-shirts and then all of you who's done that and everything else. And so, all right, well, Nicole, I'm not going to hold you up.
Yes. All right.
I appreciate you. What do you think? I'm going to play the old school theme song. Let me play it and you tell me what you think.
Yeah, I love the theme song.
Let's go.
To everyone tuning in, let me ask you, why the big secret concealing it from the mass view? UFOs circled in the sky, still get no reply. I think it's time for truth seekers to rise. Hands up if you're feeling how I'm feeling. Spread the truth and start revealing. Knocking down the doors of the big secret keepers. Truth seekers coming through your speakers. What?
So that's the first verse, and then we got the second. Then we got the second verse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we alone? So many questions unanswered. Secrets of mass like a poisonous cancer. Find the files but the evidence tampered. UFOs flying by become the standard. The war for information is far from over. Truth seekers bringing disclosure. What's done in the dark shall be revealed in time. Why the big secret about to blow your mind?
What?
Yes.
That's that old Public Enemy style. They don't understand that. But anybody under 30 and 35, they don't get it. You know, they want some Jodeci, like UFO. You know, they want that kind of stuff. Some Jodeci or something. Not even Jodeci, probably.
Damn, I'm about to say they don't even know about Jodeci.
Yeah, I know. We gotta go back. I don't even know who they listen to today. Whoever it is fast. UFO. You know, they talking fast. So.
I don't even know the names of these newcomers.
Yeah, so that's all good. But that's all good. All right, I appreciate you. And
all right,
we'll talk. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. There y'all have it. The greatness of Nicole, which is one of our lead researchers for Why the Big Secret. So definitely a lot of the stuff that you see and hear. Even today's show, y'all thank Nicole because she's the one who researched and sent the information. Said, Roderick, we need to talk about this tonight. And there we are. We are here. So that's how it rolls. It is a team and family effort from our producer way out in San Antonio Bayous, all the way up to the other side of the world where Nicole is, and other places and everything else. And so that's how we do it, pretty much. Anything else we need to talk about? We're going into the second hour, and unlike the rest of the world, it is early enough. It is 10:30, so we could be getting out of here. And like always, this is Friday night. Y'all know that, right? It's Friday night. You're freaking adults. You do not have to go to bed early, but you can't stay here all night. And I will stay here with you all night. I really do. But since we got 0 contributions tonight to the show, which doesn't matter. I'm just going to go out here and hold up a sign. You know, you believe in UFOs, give me $5. You know, I'm going to hold up a sign on the corner tonight in a little bit, and it's going to say, you believe in UFOs, give me $1. So, you know, support Why the Big Secret. I know that is so bad of me talking like that. Y'all are so lovely. The ones who got the memberships tonight, you're supporting for a long time. I appreciate it. I'm just sitting here being or whatever, something, you know. I don't know. It's not a jerk. I'm not being a jerk, but I don't know if that's a crazy word. And pretty much from there. But all right. So what I'm gonna do is get ready to get us out. Yeah, Spaced Out Radio, a lot of people gave tonight. I know, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to. Let me go back. I can tell you right now. We had a new member, you know, and you know what? Let me give them a little background for that. All right, so we had a new member, which was Judith. Y'all make sure y'all give her a shout out. April was a new member as well. Give her a shout out from there. Pam, right there, gave $10. Thank you. We had a new member, Girl from the Bay. There we go as well. We also got Sherry, did an upgrade and came back and did it again. And then Summer became a new member as well. And of course, we got Laura. Yeah. And then Wolfman became a member. So I want to thank you for being a member as well. Infinite Source Energy, $4.99. Spaced Out Radio, my man, Dave Scott, $5. Said, here, Roderick, we're going to support you because you're gorgeous. The beard is gorgeous and everything else. Jen said, Roderick, here it is. I'm giving you a contribution. As thank y'all, the lovely Jen. And we got a lot of things happening with Jen as well. And yeah, and there you go. So we have a lot of more things being said there. And so therefore I stand freaking corrected that we did get support tonight. And as always, we did. And I apologize. And I love it. And shout out to all you contributors and everything else. And as we grow. But in the meantime, as we get deeper into what we're doing, it's going to take a collective because these people are not playing out here. And for us to be different and everything else we're going to do. But I do have some up and coming interviews that we're going to be doing. And I'm still looking for anyone that has connections to anyone, your cousin, your brother, sister. Maybe they were former athletes. Maybe that's somebody who maybe was in the NFL. I need some people of influence for the public for social proof. They don't even have to have seen a UFO, you know. We just want to have a conversation. Matthew says, where is the membership there? There's the link right there, Matthew. I just put it, appreciate you. And when it comes up on screen, I'm going to give you a shout out as well. And so all I'm saying is we want people, let's get people that we can talk to about UFOs, all right? They didn't have to have seen it because the whole point is starting a conversation. So if we get some athletes, maybe some celebrities, maybe, and I'm not talking down, maybe it's ABC level or whatever. I just want some people that have some influence. And then we're going to get out here and we're going to cover these topics. Okay. We're going to get the stories. We're going to get everything we need to begin this collective effort. Now, as y'all know, we've been on point with Project Black saying, hey, I want to start the conversation. But if you watch Garry Nolan recently, you heard him say that the government's intention was to professionalize the topic. They are trying to, what we already initiated 6 months ago that we're now activating today, to make it a common conversation so people can have in everyday places. And I truly believe that we're going to be able to do that, and we can have the channel that could do that. I don't want to have to go focus on all the statistics and stuff. I don't want to have to go focus on all the major stories, because my goal is with Why the Big Secret as well is to focus on what's going on with the people on the ground. And if we can focus on what's happening with these people on the ground and trust the witnesses, I think we're going to get a whole better perspective of what's happening. This is why they have instrumented the Whistleblowers program, because they know that the true evidence is the people. It's the people that's witnessing, people that's working on these black projects, the people that are experiencing, people that's reporting. All these secrets are within the people, and that's where our secret lies, right? And I know we can do it. I know we can do it. And we just have to understand the approach. Wolfman said, I can help. How can you help? You're on live right there. Tell us. He said, I can help. He said they got stories of time travel, reverse engineering, find some people. Yeah, and we should be able to do that, right? And that's one of the things, and do it. And I think that, again, becoming a trusted place, a trusted source that we can do is one of the things that will really put things in together. And so if we can put a trusted place where people will come, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get the stories. We're gonna get what we need from the people, and then people are gonna come running. They're gonna be like, hey, we gotta come over here. Let's talk to this dude. Let's talk to Rob. Let's do what we do. And that's one of the things we can do. Y'all see, Rob G says Project Black. Yes. All right. Matthew is a new member of the membership. Give shout out to Matthew, y'all, another member. Magneticus claims it out. Matthew, this is for you. This is for you, brother. Thank you for supporting Why the Big Secret. And I just want y'all to know that YouTube is probably going to be the easiest way, because it's short, it's small. We got $2.99. We got $7. We got $5. Wherever you want and wherever it works for you, it works for me. But like I said, it's probably the easiest way to do this, and that's why we're putting it there. How does membership work? Great question. If you're on YouTube, there are several levels of membership. There's the curious, there's the truth seeker, and there's the enchanted, and then there's the Project Black supporters and collaborators and everything else. But you just go to YouTube. Now, what's going to start happening is we have new content that's coming out that when I start posting some of these interviews, they're going to be put in the membership area. They will eventually come out to the public at some point, some of them. But then some stuff is going to, because YouTube can't have it out on the open algorithm, there's several conversations, then we can leave those behind the walls. Now, I tried to do it in the community, but it was hard to get the content there. But here on YouTube, we already got it. We can just put it in there. So then you get special emojis. There's priority chats that the members could do and chat with each other that I'm activate during the conversations. And then there's other parts of that as well. So it's pretty exciting. But again, some of that stuff is $2.99, and then of course YouTube gets their cut, but I don't care. But yeah, over time that helps us and helps the show what we're doing. And so again, y'all give shout out to Matthew. He is a new supporter and pretty much there, and we can do that. But so do anybody got a cousin, friend, or any of you women used to have a guy that used to be a baller, and then you cut him off too early, and then you didn't find out he's famous, but you still got his number? You got to take one for the team. Call him up, see if he'd be on the show. Boy, that was bad. That was bad, wasn't it? That was bad. Don't take one for the team. Don't take one for the team. Don't take one for the team. Just hold it up. Don't take one for the team. Yes, you do. Yes, we do. But like I said, it's for the collective. It's for all of us. Come on, you guys can do it. Oh, somebody's laughing. Kim, you here? You got a hookup? She's like, she put her hand up. Let's put up. You got a hookup? All right, come on, take one for the team. Come on, I mean, reach out, ladies. Some of y'all, some beautiful ladies. Y'all can be the, Roderick's angels, and get these people to talk. The CIA did it. They did it back in whatever times they was doing it. What was that? When they put the crack and stuff out on the street and created the not the cocaine, but LSD. That was their whole purpose of putting women with men to get them to tell secrets. They did it, right? There you go. And pretty much, yeah. Yes, they are beautiful. That's it. Wolfman said, I've heard that Tim Duncan has ghost stories from his hotel in the Bay Area. Can we talk to Tim Duncan? How did you hear that? Can we reach out and talk to Tim Duncan? Can we get a story? Can we get him to come forward? A brother, sister, cousin. McNedison says the $2.99 has the highest tax rate. I don't know. But yeah, that's all right. So who is it going to be? Which one of y'all are going to take one? Guys, too. You can take one for the team. Y'all can, whatever. It's the first of the month. Got you next week. Appreciate it, Kia. She said, I got you next week. Hey, anytime. It doesn't matter. Appreciate you. Just being here now. It's good. Tim Duncan is retired now. He's out of it. Yeah. He's gone. And, yeah. He's out of it. All right. So with that being said, I'm in Dallas, as y'all know, Dallas, Texas. And it is approximately 10:43 tonight. And so we have spent Friday night together as always. And hopefully you enjoyed the time. Can I start raking video interviews? Yeah. You said ranking video interviews, or you mean recording them out there? Yeah. I mean, D said I'm going to be in Dallas next month. Well, when you get here, hook me up. Or hit me up. How about hook me up? Hit me up. And then, just like Diana, she comes through from out of town and we try to hook up for some lunch. And so I'd like to try to meet people as much as I can. So if you give me a day notice, and then, yeah, we can have some lunch or something and maybe record something, because I know you may have some experiences. Maybe come up here to the studio and we do a live. Hey, I'm open to do whatever. But anyway, yeah, definitely come from there. All right, so is there anything else that we can talk about before we go? I know it's Friday. I don't have shit to do. I really don't. I don't have a date to go out on. I don't have a date to be with. I'm probably going to get my Netflix out, or whatever. Or I can stay here and talk, whatever. So it's one of those deals. Y'all check out the Social Dig. He got a YouTube channel. Check him out from there. But yeah, so I'm saying, it's Friday, pretty much. And we will have a date-a-thon. We will have a all month long hookup for Rod. Not now, probably toward Christmas, once I got all my stuff in place. I'm getting a new dog coming soon. And so I want to make sure the dog is acclimated and understand the importance in my relationship that the dog is, and knowing that just because some woman come around that he's not going to be kicked to the curb, because the dog is the man's best friend. So I'm getting a new puppy. And so, yeah, y'all going to check him out. I'm going to bring him into the live streams and y'all kind of see that. But yeah, we'll do a date-a-thon. I don't know what it'd be called. But the prerequisite is you have to believe in some of the stuff we talk about. Like I said, I just don't need any. No, I have not named a dog yet. It's a American Bully is the dog. It's American Bully. I'll show you a picture of him. The only picture I got right now. And let me show y'all a picture of the dude. Okay. All right. So that's a picture of him. Yeah. So that's the guy right there. You don't see it? Okay. Yeah. So that's the picture of the dog. So y'all see it? You talking about some Chihuahua. Beverly Hills Chihuahua. I don't want no bougie dogs. You know you down in the LA area. I'm bougie dog, Chihuahua. Yeah. So so you got yours, so we can deal with that, and pretty much. So so we'll do a date-a-thon. You know, like I said, it'll be cool. She, whoever she is, she definitely want to talk about UFOs and aliens. Maybe not. My hypocrisy only goes so far. I would hate to be with a woman looks over and talking about he's watching us, and I'm like, baby, who watching us? I can't see, but I got to believe in what she sees. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? Well, it's a ghost. How long have you been standing there? Well, for 30 minutes while I was doing what I do. Oh, did he say something? No, he didn't. I would sure hate to have that conversation. You'd be like, okay, but you got to believe in her, right? Because that's my girl. I got to believe she sees dead people, right? That's how it's going to work, especially in this community of high strangeness. We're going to do that. So, okay. So his name should be King. I was thinking about if he was a dark colored dog, his name would be Anubis. Yeah, it'd be something like that. Like, you coming over my house, you're gonna meet Anubis, But I don't want a vicious dog. He's gonna be a happy-go-lucky dog. Okay, and so he's gonna be a friendly, happy-go-lucky dog. So he's not gonna be something that. But Orion, that's not bad. You want to make sure the name is easy to pronounce so the dog comes running. Orion. Would he want to be called Orion? I wouldn't call him Duke or Buck or nothing simple. Kevin, like naming Kevin Samuels? Shit, nobody killing my dog. So, and that was nothing against Kevin Samuels. I missed the dude. He was really great. He was great. Orion is good too for the dog. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, we can call. I don't know what I'm gonna call him. But he could be called Why the Big Secret. That's too long for a dog name, but Secret or something, Big Secret or something. I don't know, but he's already like 4 months old, so he's gonna have to get shipped now, and then we will do that as well. But I'll bring him, infuse him into the show, and be like, hey man, he's here, and pretty much. Orion. What a dog is a great name for a house cat. What dog? Okay. All right, we could do that. All right, so let me shut down this music and get out of here, because I'm glad y'all went and start talking about dogs instead of my future woman and whatever too. So and I hope she's good with nutrition. I hope she's like, say, hey, I cook like this, and, through love, I'm going to cook like this for you. And then, the other stuff. What do y'all think? I don't know. Y'all don't know? I don't know. Yeah, maybe she can cook. That'll be pretty good though. Because I don't think a lot of women cook these days. I'm not saying if you're already married. I'm talking women that are not married. And Thoth. Okay, I can call him Thoth. When you got a landlord, the joke is funny. Okay, all right. My American Bullet is a big baby, and maybe Piranha and Anubis can play someday. Oh, she said Piranha. You got a picture of your dog? Maybe we can show him, and you can show all of us or whatever. Yeah. Piranha. Boy, that's a hell of a name. You got a dog named Piranha. All right. Well, I mean, hey, he's American Bullet. What color? So, yeah, I just want to, I'm just chit-chatting right now. Y'all know that. If you are here and you want to hear some more about this Stephen Greer, you can jump off and be mad. Don't leave nothing in the comments and talk about blah, blah, blah. I didn't hear nothing. We're just now having some family talk. If y'all want to have some family talk, we're still talking, and that's what we're doing. And having a little family talk. We're just talking, right? She said piranha. Oh, not piranha. You see, I thought it was piranha. That goes to show you what I saw from here. But you're saying Pharaoh is the name of the dog. Well, she didn't say nothing. She didn't correct me, Nicole. She left it out there. I just saw from piranha from over here, It looks like the word piranha, but okay, but that's fine. All right. She says Pharaoh, like the Egyptian kings. He's blue, white, and tan. All right. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. Norman Lonnie would have been done that in a heartbeat. So she's probably asleep. She's going out of town tomorrow. So she probably got off with us. She'd have been like blowing me up. Dude, what the hell did you just say? And I'll be like, just saying what I'm saying, Be like, what are you talking about? And be like, okay. So yeah, Egypt. Name a dog Egypt. He's a male dog though. He's wearing his glasses. I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah. In fact, I'm not wearing glasses ever since I've been on the new meal plan that I've been on. My vision has got a lot better because usually I have to wear glasses to see all of this, but now it's doing a little better. Because I'm not drinking. I don't drink any more soda or anything. And still, I know you did Lonnie proud. Yes, you did. Poseidon. That's not a bad name. I like the movie. I just, I like the movie Poseidon. That's not bad. That's not a bad name. Poseidon. Okay, that's fine. We can work with that. Joe Monk has a baby shark. Yeah, I want a fish tank for that. All right. So that's not bad. We can do that. Anybody doing anything special this weekend? Put it in the chat right quick. Anything special? Anything different? Anything UFO related? Anything with your boo that he doesn't know about or she doesn't know about? Make me jealous. I mean, y'all can go out with your boos and bobs and, well, not bobs. Don't worry about that. But you know what I'm saying. I'm not jealous. Not really. D says she ain't doing a damn thing. Okay. Sulfur says, how are you finding the new lifestyle with the diet and exercise? It's still difficult because my scheduling is still a habit, like getting up, like, okay, even though we up now and it's 10 o'clock, I'll probably still be up to 3 or 4 in the morning on the computer, working on a couple of things I'm working on, trying to learn better storytelling tactics and things that I'm working on. And then that makes me wake up pretty late in the afternoon, and that gets pretty bad. And then if I don't have meal prep, then it's easy for me to, eat things from there. And so now, don't get me wrong. I have a gym Rob is talking about, but I right over there is a gym with weights, Bowflex. So every now and then, if I'm feeling sleepy up here at the command center, I go in and I can work out. But the most important factor is that when I first started out, I was walking a little bit, and there's a park over here, and it's probably 0.4 miles. The first time I started about a month or so ago, I would get a little tired trying to walk around one time. Now I go around 3 nonstop. Now I'm 4, and I'm up to 2 miles when I walk nonstop. So that is pretty cool. Yeah. And so Wolfman saying he's starting a credit repair business this week. So maybe we need to give him a plug if y'all do that, and pretty much. And Rob said he turned his garage into a gym. I thought you were talking about my garage. I only have a garage. Okay, his garage. And so I'm getting a little more walking in, and that's helping. I still got to get a little more water retention. I still keep a little water. But I'm also wanting to do a lot more fruits and vegetables. I found this guy on Instagram, and he's in Jamaica or somewhere. And man, he just be putting these videos out about the fruit. He put videos out about, and it's so intriguing. I just want to try it. I just want to try eating off the land and not what he called dead animals, right? And not so much being a vegan or nothing, but just eat a lot more stuff there. So And it gets pretty tough. It really gets pretty tough mentally. And sometimes I make mistakes. I may not eat what I'm supposed to. But if I look back on it, I've made progress, and that's what keeps me running. And then the other part is the emotional thing that I go through, working on all of this stuff, whether it's the TV or whether it's content creation, because I'm still just all in on trying to make sure I understand YouTube's algorithm, YouTube's stuff. So I'm studying that every day that I can, and I'm getting more and more knowledge and understanding that it's not by happenstance that some of these channels are ultimately huge. I'm not talking the ones who maybe, they can get to 100,000. I'm talking the million subscribers, like my guy, the Wi-Fi's. Y'all probably seen his stuff, right? And when I found him last year, it was 600,000 views. Subscribers, and he's pushing 2 million, but his content is incredible. His production is incredible, right? With the fish, hecklefish and all of that. But he has some great storytelling. And so that's another part of it, is to begin to find, your storytelling and, techniques and all that. So it's a lot of stuff, because this is how I earn my income, from support, like you all are supporting, whether it's memberships, whether it's contributions, whether it's, some ads or whatever. So I'm all in, and that's another personal reason why I don't get out here and date or anything, because, I need the resources of what I'm doing, and I would love to take this person out. I would love to do all the things that we're doing, but at the end of the day, I gotta make sure. Now we're going places. It is evolving. The show is working. It's doing its thing. It's growing. I have no qualms there. And I have no doubt within another year or two, we'll have 5 times as more, 10 times as more subscribers. Views will be off the record, because some of the stuff I'm putting in place will definitely work it, because I've been studying like crazy. And I found a few niche moves to make. And so, but the other part is deciding what type of content I want to do, y'all, whether we want to do in a news format, storytelling format, uploading videos already pre-recorded, live streaming, and there's just so many different formats of success that could be done. But what would work for what I'm doing? And I know I'm just talking outside of my head. Ain't nobody listening to me. Ain't nobody paying attention to what I say. I'm just talking. How do I know? Because I rely on your comments to know if you're listening. I rely on the comments to know if anybody's in the conversation, or am I just talking to myself and looking up, and then y'all having conversations with each other in the chat, just talking, hey, how you doing? And I'm just sitting here watching y'all have conversation. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much. Rob said he heard me. Cool. Nicole said we listening. Magnetics, but I expect my y'all to say. I'm talking some new people. I could have said, horse jumped over the rainbow. Oh no, I could have said disclosure is going to happen at the end of the year, and y'all will be like, yeah, bro, we behind you. It's true. Know it damn well. It ain't happening. They ain't gonna tell us nothing. I know, Rob. That was a stab. That was at you, bro. I know. Bad joke, right? But I'm saying they're not gonna do it, Rob. You know that. They're not gonna tell us nothing, man. They're gonna hold the secret to their chest. They're gonna hold it shit. He said 12/23. That was last year. You said last year. I got it on tape, man. I taped it. You said last year is when that was going to happen. And I got it on tape. And, yeah, I got it on tape. All right. So let's do it. Let's, do we want to jump into some eerie and deep? Do we want to truly talk about what we think is really going down, especially with NASA? I didn't talk about it on purpose. I really think that they played the biggest hand that they could have ever played this other day. They played the hand that they don't have much information. They played the biggest secret move of them all. And don't get me wrong, if you watch the panel, some of those people didn't even know why the hell they was there. They couldn't figure out why they was there. But once again, people thought NASA, we were going to hear a freaking, report of UFOs. And we know they on the front line. They got probably more footage, more videos, more proof than anyone in the freaking planet. Now, they may not study this stuff, but they're there. And infinite source energy. Thank you for coming. And just like Nicole said, she was, right here. I know at that panel, I think it was a piece of crap. But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, they have the balls to know they can do that stuff to us and get away with it. They know that they can come on and make a huge announcement and that we need $100,000 is what they spent to do what they did. American dollars, by the way. And then all of a sudden, they come up with, like you said, reduce the stigma, or we need more resources. It's about the money. And I've always said it. I always said it 100 times to everyone. It's about the freaking money. And it's always about the money. I don't care what they're talking about. It's the money. It's the money that they're spending. It's the money that they can get. And NASA wasn't in on the game until somebody went over there and said, look, dude, we're appropriations of billions of dollars. Y'all better get in on this. You just got to make a case that you're investigating. You ain't got to tell them nothing. Okay. And this is why I use my statement. They're going to tell us something, and we're always going to hear something, but nothing. Yeah. Okay. He says, follow the scientific method. That's what the guy from NASA, remember, he debunked one of the one of the videos I was talking the other day to, and they debunked one of the Go Fast video. Talking about that was in 10 minutes. We knew it was fake. So they're saying they ain't nobody ask us. So that it's just like everybody's out there just throwing this stuff around. Okay. All we need to do is put our collective consciousness together. We all pick a day. We get Stephen Greer. We get all of his followers. And we get everybody else. And we summon up an extraterrestrial and say, show your ass up now. Show up right now. I mean, fully dressed, of course. And tell us what we need to know. Because all the rest of the stuff is BS. And that's why I put this particular shirt on the website right now. Disclosure with the FU fingers. They're not, y'all some damn food. They're not going to tell us nothing. You better get this shirt. If you haven't got it, a couple of people already ordered theirs. I'm going to take it down. I just put it up. It's going to go back for another reason later is why we printed it. But I just want limited editions out. Support the channel and get that shirt. Go to whythebigsecret.com. Go to the merch. And you'll be able to get you one shipped out. $30 cover the shirt, the dollars for shipping, the taxes, all of that. So just know you're getting a deal when that happens from there. All right, so it's time for me to sing the song. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do, 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 do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Yes, I'm going to sing the song of exit. I don't have no beat behind it, but that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. So I'm going to go home. All right. So, yeah, do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Yeah. Okay. Let me check my email. Kia said check the email. Let's see what we got. Oh, damn. That's a head on that dog. Kia just sent me an email of her dog. Let me show y'all her dog. Okay. Look at that. It's a blue dog. Oh, beautiful dog, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Tricolored blue. Oh, shit. Damn. There you go. And his name is Not Piranha. She said, thank you for sharing a pic of Pharaoh since you asked. Yes, he's a beautiful dog. He's a good looking dog. Oh, yeah. It's a good looking dog. Yeah. You got a good looking dog? Yeah. So last call. Should not. Yeah. We could, yeah. We can definitely, now I can really get it in sync, but I'm sure they're going to flag the hell out of my YouTube channel. So they're going to do it. You know, hi, YouTube for that, but I just want y'all to hear it. I just have to crop it out. But that is my theme song. I listen to that every day to become and to make sure that I know I'm on my path to where I'm going. And we are growing. We're doing the things that we do. So now you get to know another side of me that is played every day before I go to bed in the mornings, to just stay focused, to be humble, to do the things that you need to do, and don't be afraid to move the needle and push the needle. And but yeah, I know. I'm a. She said you can just cut those seconds out the video. Thank you. Yeah, Summer. I'm gonna go in there and cut that bad boy out, and because I'm sure it's gonna get hit. You know, they're gonna be like, you can't play that. You cannot play that song. And yeah. But anyway, all right. So is that anything else? I can stay here as long as y'all want, but if y'all are not talking, it's Shaka Zulu's theme song on the movie We Are Growing. Come on, Lou Rawls is the artist. Yeah, it's not Lou Rawls, brother. That is Margaret Sagona is her name, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So but yeah. You know, I had a couple of openings. Also, real quick, I got 3 different opening songs that I want to change to. Y'all let me know that I'm working with. Y'all tell me. I'm gonna do 2 of them right now. Well, y'all probably heard 3 before, but I just want to kind of change. I know we always use the Truth Seekers, right? We use that one. But the other one I want to use, which is kind of like, you know, it's kind of like more of a hello, everybody, it's Roderick Martin and blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of like coming out with a news break. And then the other theme song to open up would be like, all right, everyone, this is Roderick Martin. You're listening to Why the Big Secret, and it's Friday night shenanigans, as Jen would say. And we're going to be talking about any freaking thing that we want to talk about tonight. But UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrials, you name it, and that's how we're going to roll. And so this is called Funky Boom. It'll let me be the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that'll certainly cause controversy. And yes, I'm located in that jumbo state. What are UFOs? Come out to play. It is a Texas thing, so I can still use my same line. Yes. Yeah. So what do y'all think about that one? And then the other one, now this one a little different. And be like, all right. Good evening, everyone. You're in the right place at the right time. Hi, I'm Roderick Martin, and I'm going to welcome you to Why the Big Secret. You could have been any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I'd like to take the time to bid you all of these things. Like what, right? I bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 hours that's on. So that's a different opening. Somebody says, I like the last one, reminds me of a game show. Okay. All right. I like the first one. It sends a listen up to everyone. Oh, you talking about our normal? We can go with this one. Oh, that one be a little more freaky. Yeah.
Now, today's UFO and government disclosure updates. Let's go beyond the narrative on Why the Big Secret with Roderick Martin.
Yeah, we can do that. And all right, you're listening to Why the Big Secret with Roderick Martin. Truth Seekers. All right. We're now going to go deep into the conversation about the RICO Act with Dr. Stephen Greer. We're going to take you into an area of unexplainable things. I think that was a little slow. I don't really like that one. This was a little different, you know. Yeah. Yeah. But we can always go with this one. Y'all know we can go with this one, right? Let's go with it.
Everyone tuning in, let me ask you, why the big secret concealing it from the mass view? UFOs circled in the sky, still getting a reply. I think it's time for truth seekers to rise. Hands up if you're feeling how I'm feeling. Spread the truth and start revealing. Knocking down the doors of the big secret keepers. Truth seekers coming through your speakers. What?
We can always go with that one. We that one we can go. Yeah, we can go with that. He said, "No, we wanted you to sing." Well, it does have a lot of bass. I don't know how to turn it up, but when I hear it in my earphones, it is bassed up. Mm-hmm. It's the same guy who did the first one, so we're using the same rapper. Yeah, and I know the old school one. That's the old school stuff, and yeah, he's pretty cool. He's like, "Man, I'm gonna make you some bumpers so you can bump." And I was like, "Shit, yes." What is this? I don't know what this is. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I'll make you some bumper music." And like I said, there's 2 verses to that one. We already played the other one. And yeah. But that one, yeah, it's got 2 verses. So I like the first verse. And here's the second verse. There's the second verse.
Come on. Hey, are we alone? So many questions unanswered. Secrets amassed like a poisonous cancer. Find the files, but the evidence tampered. UFOs flying by become the standard. The war for information is far from over. Truth seekers bringing disclosure. What's done in the dark shall be revealed in time. Why the big secret about to blow your mind?
Yeah. All right. So Summer says, I like dramatic orchestral music. Laughing my ass off. I have the channel sounding like I'm a Transformer movie. Ha. All right. Okay. Well, I got one that I was going to use that I bought, and I had this made. Y'all probably heard this before, right? And it was going to be like my opening. I played it every now and then, but this one was custom made. Yeah. To kind of give us that opening talk, you know? Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. What y'all like? I like it. It'll be like an explainer, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I can make it so we can buy it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, another part, it depends on how you do the opening, would be like this. In 1983 or 1947, we had a Roswell incident, Roswell, New Mexico. The big secret keeper said that this would be the beginning of the story of covering up the UFOs. And the public really didn't understand, because the first thing that came out was there was flying saucers. So it started to intrigue, into someone at the corporate level, the White House level, said, don't do this. And then they changed the story to balloons. This was the beginning of the greatest cover-up of all times. And then it expanded into years and years. And then it set the precedence of them saying, if the public will believe a dumbass weather balloon story, then these people will believe anything. They will believe anything we tell them, okay? And so this begins with our grandmothers who believed the shit. And then my grandfather, who was sleeping with my grandmother, believed the shit. And then my mother and my father believed the shit. And then I believe the shit. And now my kids are believing the shit till so much shit. I'm just making some story. I'm messing with y'all. I'm being stupid tonight. Okay. I'm gonna stop being stupid. I'm just trying to be stupid. Mm-hmm. I know. That's just how they're doing it. They keep the secrets and all of that stuff. And it just began, it's like that story. But it was one other thing I was going to share with you all. Oh, by the way, I don't know, whoever's watching right now, there is something I'm doing. I was told by this is a true story of a production company, 2-3, that wanted to find more luminaries into the subject. So to better serve, right now, it's called Monetizing Your Message. I'm just telling y'all about it. I'm recording it every day right now. It's a YouTube training that I'm going to do based up on teaching storytelling tactics and tactics of how to use it for your YouTube stuff. And it worked for me. It worked for me for videos that I was discovered with. And then as well with working with some of these producers. So if that's something that you want, any of you say, hey, I want to change some things. I want to see how to put some different content. Sometimes my content is really good. Once there's more people seeing it, it will explode. And I do practice on different techniques, but I'm doing videos and showing those, and I'm going to put it on the Why the Big Secret website as a membership thing or product. But if you got a podcast or you want to start, because I truly believe, and y'all hear me out, and I'm just saying this, and it's just me, and I'm not causing any friction of saying what I'm saying, but I'm telling you, when they're talking about the AI, and they're talking about how some of these people, 600 million people out of work, if things go back to the way they were, and especially when we had that years where everybody was off work because of the thing that was out there, streaming platforms like YouTube, Netflix, all of these saw record high of subscriptions. And they're already saying that there will be people that will. So one of the things that I know is one thing that AI cannot do is replace content creators like yourself, myself, people that are out here, because this is the real deal. It can aid in some of our stuff, but it can't replace. And so if you do have a passion that you want to monetize your message, you may have a message, you may have a mission, and this is the time. And podcast is not saturated. Video podcast is not saturated. There are probably maybe 1 million, maybe. And there's not a lot, and so to set yourself apart, it's going to be how you tell what you're telling. And I'll give you a quick example. There's some things I'm talking about in this little video course. It'll be maybe a few hours, and I'm going to charge for it, of course, but it'll help me. But then it's going to help somebody for sure. So you got videos. Somebody could be talking about weight loss or in giving a instructional video on here's a workout method. And they can say, this is what you do, lift 10 times, here's the reps. And although it's a listicle video, it's going to give you the information as informative. But if another person is doing the exact same workout, but then they start with their story and they start with how this thing is helping their lives and the transformation and what they went through and how it's hard doing this, and they tie a story into that particular same video, is going to get more views. Now, if you go back to some of the stuff I was doing in the beginning, where I was getting 100 views, and a lot of these things I start doing when I was over at Forbidden Knowledge TV, and then what would happen is that I was like, okay, this can work for a large audience. It can work for mine, but I need to tailor fit what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to let you know what you're getting ready to see. You're going to see more storytelling videos similar to what I did with the Hollow Earth, but a little more better. But then I tried it before and it worked really well. And then I'm going to go ahead and start putting in some of the producers' tactics, because if especially if you're in a space and you start putting out content the way that I'm going to train you, then you're going to be chosen. Because one of the main things, this is a true story. Whenever I get the phone call and they say, well, we want you to be on our TV show, first thing they say, you're production ready. And I never knew what that meant. I didn't have a clue of what they was talking about, being production ready, right? I know now, 100% now, right? And I prepare for it. And there is a methodology. There is a way that you want to present the things in the way. Now, there's people that may see the way you're doing it, and they may not be in on the same step of saying, hey, you're doing it this way. But that's not what the producers are looking for. That's not what the TV shows are looking for. And these other creators. And so thank you, Kia. She said she liked the Hollow Earth. And so basically the next program I'm almost finishing, and I've been working on this for 2 weeks, and I'm just trying to make sure I have some back end things. And then there's a couple of books coming out. That one is going to be major, right? Is going to be your home study course of UFOs. I'm going to teach you some of the back end things and some of the MUFON guarded secrets that they may not want me to say, but I'm going to tell you, and how you could just truly begin the process of, if you see a UFO, what kind of things that you can do at home, resources and things that you can do to investigate it yourself. So that program is going to be the next one that'll be completed in about 30 days. But the one for the monetizing your message using YouTube at, the storytelling is focusing on storytelling. And you can give y'all, and, Nicole and them will tell you when we have our meetings, when they present the contents, I'm using different models of storytelling techniques. You got your hero's journey. You got all different ones that you can use that a lot of people don't know. It's been happening right in front of you, but you really don't know, but it creates it. And believe me, stories tell, facts tell, stories sell, no matter what you're doing in life. And the name of it is called Video Racketeers. That's the domain name, the brand that I have. And a raconteur is a person that's a storyteller, tells an anecdotes. And my goal after that is to take those people, and we're going to do our own YouTube mastermind where we're working together collaboratively, collectively, studying things that work, that don't work, stuff work, that don't work, and put in that 10,000 hours that we all can do collectively, because once you put that 10,000 hours in, you're going to do this. And so no matter who you are, whatever you are, but it will come through the program. And like I said, I'm about... production ready is when you, and I'm going to give you a slight, so I don't give away some of the nuggets that's in the course, but I'm going to give you a little bit, Devin. Production ready, for example, let me give you an example. When you are a producer and then you're looking for someone that's going to be on your show, you got to see how do they present the information, the ideology, especially if it's an unscripted or scripted show. And then once you do that, then you can say, okay, there's presence, there's reflections. And I don't get into the reflections when I do, but when I first started, one of the things that I try to do in the beginning would be something like this. So let's say, for example, I can tell you, and I had to learn this on my own, and then I get radio people say something. But let's say I said today, the UFOs, okay, I'm going to just start here. Today, there was a UFO report that 5 UFOs showed up in Dallas, Texas today, and 2 aliens stepped out of it. All right. But if I wanted to put a reflection to it, I'll say today, UFOs showed up in Dallas, Texas, and there were 5 of them, and they all got out. And wow, you should have seen the look on everybody's faces. And so I'm changing the reflection, and you'll see me do that when I talk, right? I'll say something and I'll go up and down, and that's done. Now I do it naturally, but you want to do it just to change the mood of the conversation. But then if they see you know how to do this, and especially if they have a script that they give you, then you're not just going to take that script and you're going to say potential risk. And some people are great readers. I'm not the best of the readers, but my reflection can help me separate those things, okay? And so some people can say, potential risk. On the downside, the issue becomes highly politicized and controversial. Individuals sharing UFO experience might themselves under scrutiny. And there are some perfect readers that read this fluently and effectively. But because I'm doing it more of in a production, I can turn around and say, potential risk. On the downside, if the issues become highly politicized, now we got controversial, we got individual sharing. And now, what about these UFO experiences that might find themselves under scrutiny? And so I changed the reflections to go into more of a storytelling format. And then you have to have in any story of what you're talking about. And I do this. You got to have your antagonist. You got to have your protagonist. You got to have a conflict. You can't talk about anything without a conflict. I don't give a freaking what it is. Most people don't identify that when they talk or when they give their presentations or whenever. So you got to have that. Yeah, I'm not going to give it all away, right? I got you. But you got to have that crossroad. So, so let me give you this part and then I'll shut up. So let's say right now, we have a mountaintop, okay? Let's say we have a mountaintop. Right there's a tree. And it's not a tree, but it should be a tree, okay? Just imagine it being a tree. And so you have the tree is at the top of this triangle, all right? But this is what I call where the conflict is going to intersect in a story. On the left side, going up the mountain, are people that are four trees, and they're going up to the top of this mountain. They're going up here to save the tree, okay? On the right side of the mountain is the protagonist. These are your people that are going up to cut down the tree, okay? So as you're telling the story, you say, well, Jim, Jane, I'm going to use y'all names in here. You got Dee and Kia and Rob. They're over here. They for trees, and they're working to go up this tree. Tragic has to happen. One of them, I'm not going to say who it is, so y'all don't be upset, but one of them fell and broke their leg. And obviously was the leader of the group, had the navigation system, and they're like, okay, but since we're so close, we got to go up to the top of this tree. Now you're going to do it for that person. Y'all like, hey, we're going to do it. On the other side, they're like, that's the last tree. We need to get that tree, and we're going to use it for firewood, and that fucking tree is coming down. So these two stories are colliding, and you're talking the stories. But remember, the conflict is where they're going to meet. So when they get up to the top of the tree, now these two people have now come in contact. So that's like the government, the truth seekers, both sides are now against that's what a conflict is, whatever that story is. But I have provided that with the tree, right? So now these two are going up the trees. Their leader got hurt too. Their leader got hurt. So we're telling that in the story as it goes, right? As it building. And all of a sudden they meet each other and they got conflict. But they have to come together now, because now these two sides, and we think that's the best part of the story. They're at the climax. Okay, they're going to fight out who's going to win over this tree. But then they decide not to fight each other because it's raining, it's clouded, they got to go back down. But they both lost their leaders. And so now they're like, okay, what if we work together? So that makes a good story, right? They work together to be able to go back down the mountain, because together as a team, they can do it because they both lost some people. But along the way, they started having a little more conflict. Somebody don't like something, or somebody saying, I need to go back up there and get that damn tree. And somebody else saying, I need to go back up there and protect the tree. So now our story just goes. But anyway, I can get into details. But the whole point is you can tell a story like that live, not like I just did it, but in a way collectively that you can move the audience along. And you can do this during podcasts. You can do it through anything else. But I told it in a production manner. That answers Devin's question. The way the writers write it, the protagonist, the antagonist, the conflict, all of these things. But then there's always different formulas that you can use to write that in, but you can also speak that in. So Nicole, let me know, because I'll say, put this in this format. I need this in this format. What is this? What is this part? Where would this go within our story? Where would this go? Where would this go? And like I said, it works over at Forbidden Knowledge. I don't have millions of views over there, right? Just the audience over here is not as big yet, but that do let me know when they do find the channel. And I do be consistent over there. Over here it will. But I'm going to do all that in the YouTube training course to show each one of those sections, each different storytelling format that you can use and do. And then also, and I'll do some stuff on thumbnails and other little stuff. But the main part of this that makes it different from everyone else is that I'm going to give the storytelling formulas and how to incorporate those. And if you want to, maybe, people will like what they see, other things that they do. And then we'll do that. So Magnetic said the tree died of old age, waiting on both sides. Jen says I'm out. She's got to go to bed. Rod said lacing up the tennis shoes out here. Salute. All right, cool. Yeah. So it's going to be some good stuff. I think it'll help anyone in, especially in the UFO field, like Rob does, and everyone else, because I know what they want. I get the phone calls. I got 3 more TV shows coming up, 4, and they all saying the same thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, let's see if we can teach some of this, because they wouldn't tell me nothing, But now that I don't work with 6, 7, 8, 9 producers, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then they send me the information, and I'm looking at it like, okay, I get it. But some of the stuff that they're doing it within their heads, and you just see the storyline, and you're like, that's interesting, that's cool. But they are using formulas. There are formulas that they use to construct those stories, so that there's, journalistic reproach. There's all 4. I'm gonna teach 4 different ones, 5, 6, 5, and I use different ones. And I promise you, become a better storyteller. It's the bomb. Yeah. All right. So anyway, that one I was just plugging. But if you're interested in knowing about that, you can go to Why the Big Secret, get into the contact list, go to the contact, put your name and email, and then I may do something a little different where some of y'all can have first look, still may cost, but a little cheaper. And then you can be the feedback of what it is. And so you can do that. And that's how it's going to go. Rob says he's going to do his next show, Truth Seekers. All right. And so that's another part of it. That's something I'll teach in a more advanced course of how you want to, and some other stuff there. He says Dr. Greer knows what the extraterrestrials want. Yeah, that's Laura. Laura says she's trying to extend this conversation. Laura, I'm going to bed. All right? I'm not going to bed, but I'm gonna get off and hang on. Yeah, so almost done. All right, so so anyway, anything else? It's 3 hours. I'm gone. And I want to thank everybody who got a membership tonight. If you have not got your YouTube membership to support the bigger version of what we're doing, please, right there. There's a link. You can do it. If you click that link here in the chat, it'll take you over. You can. We have a $2.99. That is. Let me do that too. I've seen this commercial, and let's see if it works. Okay. So they're talking about how you can support a kid at 60 cents a day or whatever. All right. So $2.99 divided by 30 is 9 cents a day. If you could support Why the Big Secret at 9 cents a day. Okay. 9 cents. Some of you got in the cup holders and all that. $2.89 that it comes to if you can support the channel at 9 cents a day. I need to break it down like that. Be like, hey, 9 cents a day. Or I can put a story behind it and tell you the importance of 9 cents a day. and how much 9 cents a day means to Why the Big Secret. And that although y'all want me to lose weight, but you want me to lose weight by starving. You want me to not eat to lose weight, but I want to eat right foods to lose weight. And eating healthy costs more than McDonald's. All right. See, I can make a story out of it, but I'm not. All right. Yeah. No, 9 cents. Don't say a dime. Then it takes it up bigger. It's 0.999. Yeah. 9 cents a day. It does. Add it up. Do 10 cents time 31 is, or 30 is $3, but 9.999. I know I got all these mathematicians and Tesla offspring and Nikola Einstein offsprings in here and stuff. So March of Dimes heading your way. All right. Okay. All right. So that's it. Let me close this bad boy out. I'm actually leaving for sure. 100%. I'm serious. 100%. 100%. We out. I love y'all. I really do. Peace.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shot that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.